Deep Ellum on air. Only the best in local music.
Do it live!
From DFW and beyond. Deep Ellum on air!
HireAHero.org presents DeepElumOnAir.com's daily presentation of PMS, the Pugs Moran Show. That was wordy. We should try that again. All right, take two. Start the song over. Do it again. And that is no way to start. Yeah, beautiful. Oh, I love that sound on there. Here we go. Okay, take two. HireAHero.org presents PMS, the Pugs Moran. All right, stop. Go back. Nope, can't do it. Sorry. Now I'm in one of these loops where, you know, when you ever been in a recording studio and you're trying to do a live read for something and you just get to a sentence and you just can't get past it, and what should have been a 30-second production thing turns into like 30 minutes?
I have, but it wasn't me. It was Mondo Mike, and it was for AT&T read.
What he kept stumbling on.
I don't remember, but it was like, it literally took him like 40 minutes to do something that should have taken 5.
I love outtakes. All right, go back. Here we go. Starting again in 3, 2, 1, and hit it. Feeling good about this one. Oh, yeah. Man, right on the beat, I'm going to jump in. You watch. Here it comes. HireAHero.org presents PMS, the Pugs Moran Show, heard every Monday through Friday, noon to 2, right here on DeepElumOnAir.com. I am Pugs Moran. He is Jedi Jansen. And that's a take. All right. Yeah, we can record that one and use that for generic purposes. Because I was so... Well, no, we can't because I actually said you. But what if you're not here?
Oh, yeah.
You know? All right. Hey, everybody. How you doing today? Happy awesomest day of the week so far. Now, talk a lot about Texas weather here. Because, you know, if you don't like it, just wait a minute. That'll change. It is awesome out today. Dude, you and I are kindred spirits. This is... describe what we got going on here in beautiful
It is wet,
Dallas, Texas.
rainy, and cold.
Cold, man. See, cold. This is something I have grown to appreciate. The cold. Living here in Dallas. Or Texas, really, for that matter, for over the last decade. Because we so seldomly have cold.
No joke, man.
You know, in Chicago, cold was a beating. It was half the year. It kicked your ass. But here, you know, cold is fleeting, and we never get real cold. So, like last night, I'll just give you an idea of Texas weather. You don't like it, just wait a minute. Last night, I went to sleep with my air conditioning cranking because it was like 80-something degrees. I woke up this morning, and I swear to God, there were icicles hanging from my ceiling. The temperature dropped like 40 degrees overnight.
Yeah, last night I went to the film fest, and I was wearing shorts and a short-sleeve shirt.
Yeah.
And now I'm in sweats and a sweatshirt.
Yeah, well, I am wearing the exact same thing, different clothes. I think yesterday I believe I was wearing a Ralph Lauren hoodie. Today I'm wearing a University of Illinois hoodie. But I'm dressed in like the exact same kind of color scheme and outfit. But I don't know what that really has to do with anything other than I got a hoodie, sweatshirt, and shorts. You know what? I'm dressed like a Texan. I've got a big, thick winter hoodie sweatshirt, University of Illinois hoodie sweatshirt. I'm sure you can all imagine it. You have one. And I'm wearing cargo shorts. That's Texas weather. Because you know what? I may need the shorts because it may go up to 80 this afternoon. But right now it's a little chilly, so I need my hoodie because it's raining. Are we supposed to get really bad rain?
You know, I don't know, man.
Oh, let me check that out. Do a little weather. Let's go over to the deepelmonair.com weather center.
Okay.
Let's see. 43 degrees currently here in Dallas-Fort Worth with rain showers. I don't know how long these rain showers are expected to fall. Let's see here. Looking at your not extended. What would this be? This would be your. Well, I guess it would be today's
Extended forecast.
heavy thunderstorms. 43 degrees, but the real feel temperature. You want to guess what the real feel temperature is?
I'm going to say 36.
30.
30.
Yeah, it feels like it's 30 out there.
It's music to my ears.
All right, tomorrow it's going to be nice. Tomorrow it's going to go back into the 70s. It's going to be in the 80s by Friday. It's going to be, so we're going to get right back to being in Texas. But right now, this is a great break. I love.
Because you know what I do when it's cold like this? I just remember how damn hot it is in the summer. And it's like, yeah.
Now, you're not natural born, right? You spent the bulk of your formative years. Although you probably got used to Florida humidity, right?
Man, I've lived in Tennessee too, and they get off for it gets pretty cold in Tennessee.
Yeah.
So I've lived everywhere, honestly.
Yeah. You've never really lived in the north, though. You've never really had like a northern.
Yeah, I lived in New Jersey for a year.
Yeah, but that's different. Like New Jersey winters are bad, because they get bad winters. But it's not a Minnesota winter. That's not a North Dakota.
No,
that's not a Michigan Upper Peninsula or Wisconsin winter.
I went to Montana this past Christmas because that's where my mom was.
Oh, they
living,
get winter.
And it was -10.
Yeah, they get winter.
I thought I liked the cold, but that's a whole different kind of cold, like painful cold.
Here's what I tell people. Because I've lived in both places. I've experienced 100 degrees below zero wind chill factor, and I've experienced 130 degree real feel summers here in Texas. And I have to tell you, I would rather have the cold. And people don't get that. I say I would rather be cold than have it be hot. But I have a very practical reason for this. When you are cold, you can always, we learned how to build fire. You can always put another layer on. You can just stay under your blankets and huddle with people and stay warm. But when it's 110 degrees out and you are naked and your bed sheets are soaked with sweat, that's the worst. There is no cold showers. It's the only thing you can do. Get in some water and try and cool your body down.
I mean, can you imagine if the electricity goes out? Like, you can survive if the electricity goes out in the wintertime. You just get some candles. But in the summertime, you're going to a hotel.
If your electricity... Yeah, I used to live... I don't know if you're familiar with the Legacy Village area here in North Dallas. Legacy in the Tollway. It's like one of these, loft apartment communities with bars and restaurants and fancy boutique shops all built into them. It's a really nice little area. Well, I lived in there, and it was a couple of years back, and when I went to sleep, it was like 105 degrees out. I love it when in Texas you go to bed at night at like midnight, and it's 105 degrees. I woke up the next morning, and it was still in the hundreds, probably about 100, 103 maybe, but the electricity had gone out. I'm sorry, not the electricity, the air conditioning had blown. They told me that because, so many air conditionings were blowing because we had that crazy heat run that it was going to be 24 hours. It's going to be a whole day. I was going to have to. So luckily, there's like this Marriott that's right adjacent to this community that's up there at Legacy. I wouldn't stayed at the Marriott. There was no way that I was going to stay in my house because I was on the 3rd floor and the heat, it just rises up. It was awful, man. My apartment was probably 150 degrees. You could make stew. You could simmer stew.
I know.
On my coffee table.
The electricity went out last summer in the old studio, and those big ass windows faced the sun all day.
Oh, and the big lofts that you had down there in Deep Ellum?
Yeah, it was miserable.
Nasty.
It was like being in the oven.
Yeah. All right. Well, weather small talk is always fascinating. That's why we're doing a podcast. That wouldn't make the cut if we were doing terrestrial radio. Yeah. They'd have been upset that they weren't selling laser heroin.
I don't know, dude. Every time snow, unless it was snow, because every time snow was coming in, every time snow was coming in on the Jagger show, that's all we would talk about, like snow, like what you can do, how much fun it,
Snow is the best.
Yeah.
Snow's the best. You know, that's one of the things about having a kid. I got a 3-year-old, and all right, I am decidedly in my blood. At my core, I'm a Chicagoan. It's where I'm from. You know, it's where my sensibilities were honed. I have moved as an adult to Texas, and I live here now. And I am, and for all intents and purposes, regardless of what anyone says, I am a Texan. I have been here. When I first moved down here, I put it to the listener. I said, what does it take for you people to call me a Texan? What do I have to do? What is going to have to happen here? And the consensus that we came up with was that you must live here at least a decade, which I thought was fair. You know, I mean, that shows that you're committed to the place that you are. And you have to at least have had a child born here. Well, I've covered that. I got a child born here. I married a woman that was born here. I got another child that passed away here that is in Texas soil. I am a Texan, so I'm allowed to say this. But at my core, I am still, you know, a Southside Irish Catholic kid from the South Side of Chicago, which, you know, it's not really a terrible thing. But I often worried that, you know, there's a realization that my son has no identity with where his father comes from. And the thing that really bothers me the most about that is that my son won't know snow. My son isn't going to know snow.
Yeah.
I mean, he will know it more than possibly other kids that he goes to school with here in Texas because he has 2 grandmas that live up in the snow, and he'll be spending certainly a lot of Christmases with them.
Oh, then okay, yeah.
But he's not going to have the, like, you know, snow day thing. Did you ever have snow days those were the greatest thing when I was a kid. And in Chicago, we would get 20 inches of snow between the time that we went to sleep and the time we woke up. And we'd look out the window and everything. We'd be woken up by the sound of snow plows going down, you know, down the street, scooping up all the snow. And then it was immediately over to the radio. And in our case, it was this radio station called WGN, where I would sit there and I'd eat bowl after bowl of cereal, listening for them to call out my school's name. Oh, and my kid is never going to have that memory.
Well, he will every once in a while, but it won't be snow. It'll be sleet and ice.
Yeah, they close schools here for sleet. Come on! Are you kidding me? How would kids go to school how would you take it if you lived in Alaska? Closing for sleet. Come on. You keep the damn schools open. All right, we're done with weather now. Hey, all right, a little music here. Let's go to the Facebook page. We'll visit in with some of our daily listeners who we appreciate so very much here at DeepElmOnAir.com. I have to apologize. I'm battling some laryngitis, and it's 100% because of this weather. I thought it started out after we did the Streamathon, where my voice was totally cashed, and then it came back for like a day or two. And now I think because of this weather, it's just totally going. So I do apologize. But if you're a longtime listener of the show, you know that my voice is a delicate flower. It's always in some manner of disrepair. All right, let's see here. Going to the Facebook page of John Pugs, we like to put it out there. Hey, I say topics. What would you like to discuss today at noon? Post here, please. So let's run through a couple of these. Let's see here. First topic. Frank Smith wants to know about North Korea. Who has the best religion? Rank the top dog breeds and rank the Kardashians. Okay. North Korea. Topic 1. Here's something that was released by our State Department today. North Korea missile test. Are you ready for this? Mm-hmm. Possibly imminent. State Department source says. Possibly imminent. That's like maybe definitely. What possibly?
Yeah, that's either is or isn't.
That's
right?
what well, imminent means it's going to happen.
Yeah.
If something is imminent, it's going to happen. We know it's going to happen. But if it's possibly going to happen, then you don't know it's going to happen, so it's not imminent.
Yeah.
I mean, this is our State Department. Possibly imminent. That bothered me. So, yeah, nothing new on North Korea. Although, remember, our State Department says a missile test is possibly imminent. Who has the best religion? Oh, that is easy. Scientology has the best religion.
Why
Are
you
you
say
kidding?
that?
Oh, because one, it's got all the fabulous Hollywood babes. 2, it seems like they throw excellent parties. I mean, every big Scientology event that you hear about is always going down somewhere cool, like on a yacht in the Caribbean, or like in some Malibu mansion. And Con, it's all about, dude, you should totally, if the question to you, Jedi, was what is the best religion, he didn't ask me what the right religion was or what religion I lean the most towards. He asked me what the best religion is. This is the one that has like space fighters and, and gods and aliens. Come on, this is the best religion.
No, it's not, man.
Right.
It's the creepiest. It's one of the creepiest ones.
Which makes it the best. It's the best religion. Scientology, hands down. If the question is what's the best religion for me, because that's a subjective question. What's the best for me? It's the one that makes me laugh the most. It's the one that entertains me the most. Certainly, like Islam, I wouldn't say that's the best because that one freaks me out. You know, there's a lot of beheadings and a lot of blood. But you know, with Scientology, it's all like mind games and screwing with Hollywood starlets and Tom Cruise and John Travolta. That's the best religion. All right, let's see. Rank the top dog breeds. Top 3, anything with a wolf hybrid in it. If you want a loyal, loving, and super smart animal, anything with a wolf hybrid in it. Let's see here. Although I have to tell you, I'm becoming a big pit bull fan. I love your dogs. Your dogs are so sweet.
Yeah, but you know what? I wouldn't.
And scary looking.
I wouldn't put them on the top list because I wouldn't want everyone having a pit bull because you have to know what you're doing.
Yeah, well, I've had a dog my entire life, and you probably have as well. In fact, I don't have a dog right now because I just put mine down a couple of weeks ago, and I'm going to wait a while. Anyway, although, who knows? We'll see. I got to get a dog for my kid. My kid's got to have something at some point. But yeah, this is not an entry-level dog. You want an entry-level dog, get a beagle or something. Get a cat. A cat is an entry-level dog. But anything with like a wolf hybrid, it's going to require, you're going to have to play with it a lot. You're going to have to bond with it a lot. They're so smart. They're so smart. And if you don't give it the attention it needs, that smart will manifest itself as crafty. How about you? Best dog breeds.
I mean,
for Frank off the Facebook
for
page.
For Frank, yeah, I'm gonna say a German Shepherd, wolf hybrid, or I mean, I want to say a pit bull because originally pit bulls were bred to be nanny dogs. However, that was a time, a different time of
yeah, when they didn't care if infants had their skulls crushed by their nannies.
No,
that
doesn't happen.
A nanny dog, like for who?
For kids.
For kids?
Yeah.
Pit bulls?
Yeah. Here, look.
Honestly, I can see that. I mean, I can see with your dogs, the way your dogs are, the demeanor your dogs have. I could totally see that. Your dogs play wonderfully with my kid. And of course, they're big dogs and he's a small kid. So we take all the precautions that you would in that situation.
Yeah.
But when they're playing, I mean, those dogs are really sweet.
Basically, what would happen is these dogs would almost like adopt the kids and just be extremely loyal and protective to these kids, not let wolves or animals or strangers.
Back when we were wildlings.
Yeah,
that's when. Yeah, so you're right. It was
back in the 1800s.
Back when the concern was that a wolf was going to steal your infant, pit bulls were nannies. All right, I see. Different time. All right, rank the dog's top breeds. I said that. I like anything with a wolf breed in it. And then rank the Kardashians. Well, okay. Ranking the Kardashians. All right. Well, here's.
Didn't we get this yesterday?
I don't care. I don't know. I didn't do that. I think there was probably something.
Somebody
about
asked you your favorite Kardashian.
I can tell you of the 3 girls. I can tell you who's at the bottom of the list. That Rob Kardashian. I got no use for that guy.
There's
a brother. Yeah, I got no use for that guy.
I thought there was a chick, Rob. I'm like, come on.
Other than that, though, it's a pick 'em. They all the Kardashians have their irritating components, but they also have their genuine qualities that I find good. I, of course, watched a couple of seasons of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, so I feel that I know them. I'm not up on them now. Haven't watched them in about 4 or 5 years, but I used to watch them back in the day. And back in the day, I remember thinking that Kim was the most beautiful, but would be the hardest to date. Khloe is the big one. She's the one that's married to Lamar Odom. Khloe seemed like the most cool. Like you could sit around and do shots with Khloe and it would be fun. And then the other one, Kourtney, was like the one that was completely lost. Yet also really hot, but hasn't really carved out an identity for herself. Other than having a kind of a jerky.
So do they all have
baby daddy?
K names?
Yeah, I believe they do.
Oh,
If I just
God.
said that, Courtney, Kim, and Chloe, yeah, I guess so. All right, so there you go, Frank Smith. I answered your questions regarding North Korea, who has the best religion. I ranked the top dog breeds, and I gave you my ranking of the Kardashians.
Hey, do you know what-
No, I don't think I gave him a number. Let's go with Kim as number one. She's the big money earner, and yeah.
Speaking of dogs, do you know what a Rhodesian Ridgeback is?
I do.
I put that on my top list.
My former boss had one. Those are gorgeous dogs. But see, anything that's pure like that, I get worried about it. And they're rare. I worry that, maybe a little wiggy. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I knew one that I just told you about, and that dog was a little wiggy. I wouldn't, in retrospect, now I think, consider that a good dog.
Well, could it have been the owner, though?
No.
No?
No, the owner. No, this dog was actually trained professionally by a really good Oprah Winfrey's dog trainer. Trained this guy's dog,
Wow.
and it was just wiggy. It would growl.
What do you mean wiggy?
It wasn't very nice. It was sweet. It liked to be left alone, but if you walked by its food bowl from across the room, it would go. Yeah,
Wow.
so yeah,
See,
it was
yeah,
like
no, I
it
don't
was wiggy.
Okay.
You don't.
Well, I mean, they were bred to hunt tigers, so yeah.
They're badass looking dogs. If you want a beautiful animal, then yeah, you get that. But I don't know if that's like a lap dog in your house. Maybe. And I'm sure there's people. Oh, I got one and they're great. Dogs are great. Look, all dogs are great.
If you know
love
how to
them,
do it, yeah.
If you know how to give them love and you know how to give them the attention that they need, all dogs are great.
One thing that people don't understand, simple things like having your dog roll over on its back and have its belly to you and submit like that, and then you kind of respect it in a way. Stuff like that really does make a big difference in your dog because they submit and they know you're the master, but you're doing it respectfully.
It's also the thing that you got to do every day, and I wonder if there are certain people that own dogs that just this isn't in their character, but every day you've got to get nose to nose with your dog, and you got to give him this. You don't even have, it's not about words. Like with my dog, I wouldn't even use words because my dog doesn't speak English, but they respond to tones. Like I would get in her nose and we'd roll around on the floor and I'd be like, like that.
Yeah.
Because that sound to them, they know that they're being accepted, they've done a good job, they're part of the family. But if you just walk in and ignore your dog as it comes up and, sniff, get away from me, get down, while you're thumbing through the mail that you just picked up, that dog's going to be an asshole.
Yeah.
Because you got to love it, just like a kid.
Or if you're letting that dog come home and just like jump all over you and you have no control over
That's
it,
a problem.
that's another thing too. It's like it's dominating you, so you gotta, dog talk. Weather and dog talk.
Dogs are for the... Hey, who doesn't like to talk about both of those things? Weather and dogs. No, dogs are pack animals. They need, but there's that alignment of where they sit in the pack naturally. Some of these puppies are born and they think they're natural alphas. If you allow them to do that stuff, they're going to eat your couch. They're going to go through walls. They're going to ruin your carpet because they're going to try and show that, hey, I'm the boss here, and it's going to take a little while. But yeah, you know what helps when they come in, they jump on you as you're thumbing through the mail with the door. They come in, they jump all over you. Boom, bring that knee right up. Knock them back on their butt. That's how I taught my dog. My dog Blue used to get a knee right to the chest every time she tried to jump on me when I walked in the door. And for the last 12 years of her life, she was an incredibly well-mannered dog. I mean, people used to say, they would say, oh, now here he goes. He's talking about his dead dog. All right, Blue memory. People used to say, because she's looks kind of, unsettling at times. She can look like kind of a scary dog. People would walk in, like when I'd bring girls home or whatever, dog would just kind of like walk up to him, give him the quick little rub, a sniff, and then she'd go lay down. She's like, wow.
That's what dogs are supposed to do.
Like, yeah, that's what dogs check you out, make sure that you're cool, make sure that there's no gun. Like I always think when I walk in with somebody, when the dog does the checkout, the dog is making sure that, okay, you guys cool? All right, hey, Daddy, you good with her? Because I can take her arm off. I can. I'm right here. All right, let's see here. Will Brooks wants to know, he says off the Facebook page, the random topic segment we do each and every day here on HireAHero.org presents PMS. Will Brooks says, if you were Supreme Leader, what wacky thing would you do? Well, I'd move Wednesday to Thursday. How's that? That would be the wacky thing I'd do. Stanton. Hey, our guy Stanton.
Oh.
He says, Jimmy Fallon is taking over The Tonight Show. Yes, he is. And we're going to talk about this. How do you feel about Jimmy Fallon?
I like Jimmy Fallon. I think he's great.
Great?
Yeah. I mean, not like as far. Well, see,
Here's the best.
I haven't
thing
seen
about
his
this.
show that much. I like him whenever he's on Stern.
I don't. Jimmy Fallon is a chameleon. If he's on Stern, he's a great guest on Stern. If he's on the 700 Club with Pat Robertson, he's a great guest on the 700. There is something about him. I call that type of guy soulless. To me, Jimmy Fallon is soulless. I think he's very talented. Soulless.
What?
Yes, because he's always like he can appeal to too many different kinds of people. Like, big fat ladies in the checkout line at the grocery store are going to pick up People magazine if he's on the cover because he's so cute. He's little Jimmy Fallon. He's so cute. But then also, he appeals to, guys like you who are like, I think he's great. And there's something wrong with that. He's soulless. He's like working all sides of the room, not really loving anyone in return, just kind of, capitalizing on all that he can get. Does it make any sense to you? I mean,
Yeah.
He's too cutesy. He does some great things. Look, man, on his show, he does some great things. I'm talking about Jimmy Fallon, the way I perceive him, the personality. I'm not talking about his talents or his abilities or anything like that. There's just something about him that I have cooled to. Because I used to like him. In the early days on Saturday Night Live, I liked him. But then you know what really bothers me? His Citibank commercials really bother me.
Oh, see, I've never even seen
They
any of this.
really bother me. He is their prime spokesman. And, that's a criminal organization in a lot of people's minds. I lean in that direction regarding Citibank. You want to hear what Citibank did? Get this. This was released yesterday. Remember the TARP bailouts that they all got to save their asses? And one of the conditions was that they would then loan that money out and they would get the economy jump-started by helping people with business loans and all of that kind of crap. Man, it was revealed yesterday that, yes, all of these banks paid back the TARP loans in timely fashion. But you know how they did it? They did it by taking money from their small business funds. So TARP bailed them out. All right, so get this, Jensen.
I heard you.
I bail you out, okay? And I say, but here, the condition is you got to loan some of this money out into the community and help small businesses. And you guys say, okay, thanks for saving my neck. Thank you. Then you paid me back really quick. We paid back. Sucker, we paid back. And then we find out you paid us back so quick because you took all the money that you were supposed to give to small businesses and you used that to pay us back. They just needed money. They totally screwed. So, Jimmy Fallon gets on TV and he tries to make Citibank feel all warm like it's your neighborhood bank. Ugh. I wouldn't have if I was a celebrity, I would not have taken that. I wouldn't have. Do you know Kelly and I?
I mean, they had to have offered him a lot of money for
We
that.
used to. Well, I think he's soulless. I think he doesn't think like that. I think he doesn't think that this is a criminal organization that is paying me a lot of money. To me, that bothers me. Kelly and I, in all of our years of endorsing, and we were a very high-ticket item for endorsing because we were real effective with it. We've turned down I think 3 people, but I only want to talk about 2. We turned down 2 people for endorsements. They wanted Kelly and I to do live reads for. One was Body Solutions. Do you remember Body Solutions?
Yeah, that's where they wrap you with something, right?
No, it was a drink and a pill, and it was all placebo, and Kelly and I were like, no, we don't want to tell our listeners to buy some crazy weight loss thing that we don't think is going to work. And then sure enough, 2 years later, they were sued by everything. I think the founder went to prison. It was all a big scam. They actually had to bring one of the sales guys in to do the pitch. We said, fine, you want to pitch to our listeners? You bring in somebody, an outside spokesperson to come in every day for a minute and talk about this in a commercial break. Because we were really not comfortable doing that. And we thought our listeners were smart enough to know that. Okay, so that was one. So, and this is all about Jimmy Fallon not turning down Citibank. The second one, the second one was really controversial. They really tried to get us to change our mind on this one. But it was the United States Army.
Wow.
They wanted us to do commercials it was in the build-up to the Iraq War, and they wanted us, because we had big 18 to 34 numbers, they wanted us to go on the air and go, hey, Kelly, hey, Pugs, hey, what are you thinking about doing between college and how about serving your country? They wanted us to do that thing, and we were just like, look, man, I love the military. This isn't about not liking the military. This is about we're being uncomfortable with what we're seeing as a build-up to something, and that something was the Iraq War. And we now know that was a huge mistake. There was no reason for that. There were no weapons of mass destruction. So those were the two that we said no to. And even at our level, where those kinds of additional funds every month would have made a nice difference. But we turned it down. So for Jimmy Fallon to be so in bed with Citibank and all that, it makes me uncomfortable. And for me, he loses some of his edge, cool,
Yeah, I can
whatever,
understand that.
You know? Okay, so, let's take a break here, because let's come back. Let's discuss that situation. There are big doings at NBC. We got people moving. Here's the bottom line for me. Ding Dong Leno is out. Oh, my God. Leno, he might be a great guy. He might be wonderful. He bores me to tears. And David Letterman, who I have always preferred over Leno, Dave seems a little uninspired these days. So what NBC is doing is what NBC is doing certainly seems to be a little shot in the arm to the old late night television lineup. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back. PMS on DeepElmOnAir.com.
Oh, you're so perfect. Baba, you are amazing. I don't know how any other way to say it, but you are. Everything about you, it's perfect. Would you like some cheese? No cheese? Yes? How do you call it? You're like a Thanksgiving turkey. I think...
Shh. It's over. I'm done.
How can you say that?
I got things to do. I have to follow my dreams and my passions. Finito. Finished. Finito. I gotta live my life. This boat's gotta float. Open road, it's calling me. Spread these wings.
What do you mean, it's over?
I mean, if you want me to sing it to you. I said bye-bye, my love. You know I walk these streets alone. So alone. Into the fire, my love. I'd rather face the sticks and stones on my own. And there she goes, with those wasted days I spent alone.
It's Deep Ellum on Air, serving the DFW Metroplex. Only the best in underground and local music.
Cause me and music are one. You know, music is like my best friend.
Deep Ellum on Air. What you want to hear. DeepEllumOnAir.com.
HireAHero.org presents PMS, the Pugs Moran Show. Heard every Monday through Friday, noon to whenever on DeepEllumOnAir.com. Couple songs there from Loyal Sally, who are quickly becoming my new favorite of the local emerging Dallas bands. I know that they're involved with the station, and man, they're good. They're good. I mean, I used to be, in my much younger days, Jansen, boy, when I was a young spry buck, I was like neck deep in the local music scene. Used to go to every Friday and Saturday night. It was a different club to check out a different band. All that. I loved it. That was my youth. I think my midlife crisis, might be that I become that weird guy I used to see in the clubs when I was like 21 and he was like 45 and he was in the corner in a leather jacket. But that dude was always with a really hot 20-something-year-old chick. So, maybe it's not all bad. What do you go to any clubs? Give me a list of some good clubs here in town. Because I need to start getting out and going to the rock clubs again. I mean, I'm tired of the VIP rooms and the velvet ropes and the bottle service. I want to go to a rock club.
I actually got good news for you. That's the great thing about Deep Ellum on Air. You don't have to go to clubs. It comes to you. Like just hang out here more often. All the local bands that make Deep Ellum cool play here.
Dude, it's a sausage party here. I want to be in a club.
Yeah, I guess you're
Come on,
right.
what's the matter with you? I want to be in a club.
Yeah, all right. Well, I'll tell you.
I want some shady bartender to offer me blow in the bathroom. Yeah, I want like a club experience. Dirty
You
skank.
should go to the Freeman. They have a lot of really good local music. The Wits End, the new Wits End that used to be the Bone.
Yeah, Richie Witt's new place. No, I don't know. It might be. You looked at me. You made me question that joke. That was a joke, and then you looked at me like, really? And I was like, oh, is it?
No, it's spelled different, so it might be though. I don't know. I doubt it. But anyway, it used to be the Bone.
No, but like, do we go like? All right, when I first came to Dallas, before I transitioned into like a douchebag crowd for a while, the first place I tried to infiltrate was Deep Ellum, and that was in the early 2000s. It was starting to get a little sketchy. It was starting to get real sketchy. I believe it was gunshots that I heard while walking to my car that made me say, maybe Uptown is the place for me from now on. I'm not built for this Deep Ellum stuff.
No, it's gotten better big time.
But I know. It's gotten real, yeah. We talked about that before, the different evolutions of Deep Ellum. But back at that time, it used to be, I'd go to Trees, I'd go to Curtain Club, Deep Ellum Live. Do any of these clubs even still open? Do they exist, or have they all been replaced?
Trees and Curtain Club are still open, yeah.
Oh, very cool. All right, those are my two favorites.
But Trees just reopened a few years ago.
What about Clearview?
Clearview's gone.
Clearview's gone.
It's something else now. They just reopened it as something else. It's like, what is it? It's like Red now.
All right.
It's across the street from Lullabies.
What kind of bands are there now? Because when I was going there, it was like it was a hybrid kind of thing. But then it started to get very thrash.
You mean Clearview?
Well, all the clubs, the scene.
Well, there's a little bit of everything. That's the great thing about it.
Yeah, not 10 years ago. 10 years ago, it wasn't a little bit of everything. So that's good to hear, and that's probably the reason why it's come back.
It's way more eclectic now. That's for sure. There really is. Like on some nights, you'll see the Curtain Club will have all hip hop, and then the next night it'll be metal. But it's cool now. There's not the fighting like there used to be.
That Curtain Club. If I were to make a movie set in a rock club, I would use the Curtain Club. It's everything a rock club should be. It is dank. It looks like it's violating many fire hazards, and it's dirty. Well, not filthy, not like poop in the corner, but I mean, like, there's the smell of stale beer.
Yeah.
And the bathrooms are atrocious. It's a rock club, man. Oh. Yeah. I don't know if I'm ready to go back into a scene where I can't poop at every venue I attend.
Man, I mean, you're really asking the wrong person. I don't really go out that much.
No.
I'm stuck here. Like I said, the fun comes here, so I'm like, hey, I'm satisfied.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. All right, so let's get into this. We were talking, one of the things I wanted to get to today was the situation that's developing at NBC in late night. Now, what we know is that Jay Leno will be moving. I don't know what Jay Leno is going to do. I think he's just out the door this time. If you remember the last time with Jay Leno, he said he had done like 10 years of The Tonight Show, and he was all, I don't know, I don't want to do this anymore. And we took a crack at prime time. He went down to the 9 p.m. hour, and Conan O'Brien was given The Tonight Show. Conan O'Brien flattered, this is wonderful. He moves his entire show out to L.A. Everything changes. Jay Leno bombs in prime time. Nobody's watching that crap show, and he starts crying, I want my job back. I want my job. I mean, what a dick. I mean, that's in the grand history of how Jay Leno became Jay Leno. That's dick move number 2. Dick move number 1 was the way he outmaneuvered David Letterman to replace Johnny Carson, as very well and vividly documented in the great Bill Carter book and later HBO movie, The Late Shift. I mean, And then there was like a dust up this time with Jimmy Fallon too. They seem to have quashed that. That seems to have been gone. But man, Jay Leno, just go away, dude. Go away. What you did, not so much what you did to David Letterman, because David Letterman ended up going off to CBS, carving out his own thing. He was a thorn in your side your entire run. Half the country will always believe that David Letterman is better than you, and the other half will always think you're better than Letterman. So you got that. That's your thing. But go away now. Go away. What you did to Conan O'Brien. I mean, man, that poor guy is in exile on TBS. Nobody's watching. I used to watch Conan O'Brien almost every night. And full disclosure, a good friend of mine was one of his top writers and side performers, so I would watch to see my friend. But I loved the Conan O'Brien show. The Conan O'Brien show was cutting edge. It was different. It was absurdist, but it was also like real provocative. It was a great show. And NBC completely screwed that show over. Conan O'Brien just comes across as this nice guy that just keeps getting victimized by people. He goes over, he signs on, he does a show on TBS. And yes, I believe that show is still on. I wouldn't know because I don't watch TBS. It's just not a habit. You've probably never seen his TBS show, have you?
No, I haven't.
Yeah. Did you ever watch his NBC show?
Yeah.
He was great. He's very funny. And, you know, I try to follow him. He's very active on social media. I follow Conan O'Brien at Coco or Team Coco or something, whatever it is for Conan O'Brien on Twitter. But I just don't remember to watch that show. And it's on at a weird time. It's like on, I think, at either 9 or 10 o'clock.
You know who really loves Conan? Is Jimmy.
Jimmy Ryan?
Jimmy Ryan. Big Conan O'Brien fan.
Yeah, well, it's a good show. It's a good show. But, man, that poor guy, his place in history is now his better. You know, in the history of The Tonight Show, when you look at the run of hosts on The Tonight Show, it's going to show Steve Allen, who walked away from the show, and no one could believe it after just a couple of years. This guy, Steve Allen, started The Tonight Show, and he was super popular. He became a massive star in America. And in like a couple of years, maybe even just 1 year, he decided to walk away. And then he was replaced by a guy named Jack Parr. And Jack Parr took over Tonight Show, and he became a massive star. And everyone forgot about Steve Allen, and no one could believe that anyone could ever do it better than Jack Parr until Jack Parr left and Johnny Carson came in. Johnny Carson, well, he completely reinvented the entire medium of the late night talk show, and he became the gold standard, the icon, from which all of the other ones that we see now, and the big ones anyway, seem to fall from. And by that I mean David Letterman falls from the Johnny Carson tree, Jay Leno obviously falls from the Johnny Carson tree, Conan O'Brien falls from the Johnny Carson tree. So then Carson goes out. Is that my phone?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I didn't even know that. I was ranting. So I didn't. Hold on, folks. Let me answer my phone. Let's see. I think they probably just a bill collector or some crap. What was I talking about?
Conan? Jimmy Fallon?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Sorry. Excuse me. Folks, the weather's kind of weird here, and my voice is going, so I apologize. I got a bad thing happening. Yeah. Oh, okay. So anyway, Johnny Carson, obviously, all these people are out there floating around. But now there's like this new breed that is coming in, and I'm really interested in seeing what this new breed of talk show host can do. I mean, I think a guy like Jimmy Kimmel is definitely... there are aspects that come from, there are influences that come from the Carson tree, but Jimmy Kimmel's doing a whole other thing. Like, I would say Jimmy Kimmel is more like David Letterman than like Carson. And Conan is more like David Letterman. So there's all of these influences that are going on here. All I know is that at the end of the day, the guy who I think has the least talent of all of them, Jay Leno, is gone. And that's a good thing. Stay gone. So that opens up the Tonight Show, and we know who's getting that, right? Who's getting the Tonight Show? Jimmy Fallon. Jimmy Fallon, the guy who took over for another pretty good-looking hosting tree. You know, late night with the Late Night Show, the show that follows tonight on NBC since David Letterman started it in the early 1980s, has had David Letterman as a host, Conan O'Brien as a host, and now Jimmy Fallon as a host. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good tree. You know, that's starting pretty good. Now, who are they going to get next? Well, we'll get to that in a minute. So, with Leno leaving the Tonight Show, that brings Fallon into the Tonight Show, which, again, I don't have to go off on Fallon. I'm not real excited, but whatever. I'm interested. I'm a little despondent that the host of The Tonight Show is younger than me. Boy, that's that's one of those markers where you're like, oh crap, I'm old. Oh my God. When someone runs for president who's like graduated your same year of high school, that's when you know you're old. Like, holy crap, I could be running for president right now. Or when the host of The Tonight Show is suddenly younger than you. That's when you know. And Jimmy Fallon is younger than me. A couple of years. But so that leaves the Letterman legacy show with a vacancy. So guess who's rumored to be taking that over? This has me the most excited.
Letterman.
So it'll be Letterman to Conan to Fallon to now this guy taking over late night.
Let's see. Steve Carell.
No, that's not terrible because I see what you're doing. You're going with he's too much of an actor and he's got too big of a movie career currently.
Okay, Jon Stewart.
I don't know that you know what? Jon Stewart has a bigger platform as host of his Daily Show than to take over that show.
Yeah.
Seth Meyers from Saturday Night Live is rumored to be the guy that is going to take over for Jimmy Fallon. Now, remember just a couple of days ago, I said Seth Meyers is the best host of Weekend Update in the history of Weekend Update. And I know that's saying a mouthful. I know that's saying he's better than Tina Fey. I know that's saying that he's better than Norm Macdonald. It's saying he's better than Dennis Miller. It's saying he's better than Chevy Chase. It's saying he's better than Dan Aykroyd. I mean, there have been a long list of SNL Weekend Update hosts, and a lot of them have sucked, but the ones I just named, those were all the ones that people pretty universally say, that's pretty good. Kevin Nealon, Councilman Doug from Weeds. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he hosted a Weekend Update for a couple of seasons.
He did right before Norm.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I don't remember him being very strong.
He wasn't.
He doesn't stand out. He doesn't stand out. What Norm Macdonald did, and I know we touched on this a little bit before.
I loved Norm.
Yes, I did too. I absolutely, at the time, I loved Norm. But he didn't do what Saturday Night Live's Weekend Update had often done. Norm Macdonald was just being funny, pretending to be a news guy. There was not quite the amount of social satire and commentary that I like from the news. Dennis Miller did that wonderfully. Dennis Miller had real contemporary, current, topical jokes. Tina Fey did that really well as well. Norm didn't do that so well. Norm was just all about OJ and, just shocking people and saying, really crazy, absurd punchlines to a news story. In Vermont today, a guy walked into a bank and then boom, and then Norm would have some real absurd punchline. Seth Meyers has come on in the last couple of years since Tina Fey, Jimmy Fallon, Amy Poehler, whatever that combination was, went out. Seth Meyers came in the last couple of years and just blew my doors off. It's pretty much all he does. He's the head writer of Saturday Night Live. He took over for Tina Fey as head writer, and he also ascended to the desk, and he's just great. He is so smart. His jokes about international politics, his jokes about, the Democrats and the Republicans, they are so smart. And they are so well. First of all, he's famous for the thing that got him the gig was he pitched a bit called Really. Have you ever heard Really? Oh, I'm going to pull up Really. It started out as Really with Seth and Amy, and basically it was just a bit that was on the news, appeared on Weekend Update, where they took a story that was in the news and then they just ranted on it, and they'd go back and forth between Seth and Amy. Hold on, I'm sorry, my voice is like really bad. Here, let me pull this up. I know I have one. All right. Oh, give me the cord.
Yeah, they're Saturday Night Live. Do you find one? Because they're usually really bad at having their stuff on.
Oh, you know what? You're right. You're right. All right, here. Let's try this. Let's see if we can get this. I forgot about that. Oh, okay. Here, it's gonna be one of those. It's going to be one of those where it's recorded with a hand recorder, so the sound's going to be a little funky. Here, let's check it out. All right. This is an example. This is how... Where it's recorded with a hand recorder, so the sound's going to be a little funky. This is how... check it out.
You got to turn your...
This is an example.
My volume down? Yeah, you got it pulled up. Oh. You got the website pulled up on your computer.
Oh, I do, don't I? All right, hold on. Sorry, folks. It's the kind of delays that we have when you do it all yourself. All right, here. So this is an example of Seth Meyers and how he really started to break through on SNL. It's me.
Vic was stopped by security, cut left, broke a tackle, and was finally brought down after gaining 20. Atlanta Falcons quarterback Michael Vick surrendered a water bottle to security at Miami International Airport Thursday that smelled like marijuana. Vick was stopped by security, cut left, broke a tackle, and was finally brought down after gaining 22 yards. Michael Vick's alleged attempt to bring marijuana onto a plane raises many questions we will now address in a new segment on Weekend Update called Really with Stephanie. Michael Vick, really? You didn't want to throw your weed away before you went through security? Really? You have $117 million left on your contract. Do you know what $117 million means? You can afford to replace your weed if you have to throw it away at the airport. Really? I mean, come on, Michael. Even my dumbest high school friends know to throw their weed away at the airport, and they have no money and love weed.
And you got caught at the Miami airport. Really? You didn't think they'd check for drugs at the airport in Miami? Really?
And also, I don't know if you've heard, but you can't bring bottled water past security anymore. So you hid your weed, which is not allowed on a plane, in another thing that is not allowed on a plane. That's like hiding your weed in the barrel of a gun or in the mouth of an endangered species. Really?
And it never occurred to you to put it in a Ziploc bag and sink it to the bottom of a shampoo bottle in your checked luggage like we all do?
And Michael Vick, do you not have an entourage? Really? Because you should put together an entourage, and the first guy in that entourage should be called Michael Vick's official weed carrier.
And also, you're flying back to Atlanta, where you live. Do you not keep weed at your house? Really? Because if you like weed, you should have some at your house.
Michael Vick, throw your weed away. I know you're a running quarterback, but throw it away. Really?
Wow.
All right, so that was the big breakthrough sketch that really made Seth Meyers start to stand out on Saturday Night Live. He went on to, when Amy Poehler left, she left the Weekend Update desk, and they said, no, Seth, why don't we just make this your thing? You won't appear. He doesn't appear in many sketches. He's the head writer, and he works exclusively on. He's just a really funny, great, unoffensive-looking guy that I think is going to do really well on late-night television. I can't wait to see his show. So the new lineup for NBC as of right now, late night, is going to be Jimmy Fallon in The Tonight Show, and then Seth Meyers, not official, but certainly everybody is saying that it's just a days away from making the announcement. Seth Meyers as the host of the new late-night version. I love that, man. Here, let's listen to a little bit more of Seth Meyers. This is Seth Meyers destroying Donald Trump at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. And we're going to have to wait a second because, we've got an advertisement. Are you familiar at all with him, though? I mean, are you hearing these things for the first time, or do you know who he is?
Well, I know who he is, but yeah, I hadn't heard this.
He's one of the great contemporary comedy writers. He's a great satirist.
What did I see on your Facebook page? I thought Alec Baldwin was hosting.
No, we will get to that.
Oh, okay.
We will get to that. All right, here we go. This is some more of Seth Meyers and what his bit is, what he sounds like. New host of Late Night. Rumored. Announcement coming soon.
Hello, I'm Seth Meyers, and I cannot thank you enough for having me tonight. Let me just say up top that this evening I'm going to be making a lot of jokes about many of the people in this room, but don't worry. I assure you, no matter how harsh the jokes, they've all been vetted by the man at the top, Chinese President Hu Jintao. Truthfully, I'm humbled to be sitting at a table with President Obama, a man I greatly admire. It's such an honor to perform for the leader of the world's most powerful / poorest country. And before I start, these were my birth certificate jokes, so thank you for the timing on that, Mr. President. Now unusable. We were working on these jokes for months. One of my guys said, "Are you worried we're a little heavy on birth certificate jokes? What if he releases it before the dinner?" And I was like, why would he do that? He's not going to wait 3 years and then release it before the dinner. Who told you I had birth certificate jokes? It was Assange, wasn't it?
If you remember what this is leading into is Donald Trump last year started to demand that...
The birthers.
Yeah. And Obama finally went, all right, fine, here. Is this what you need? Fine. And whatever it was somehow they were released. And apparently that was like a day or two before this dinner. And so Seth had written all these jokes about why he won't release the birth certificate. And now he's bitching about, well, I can't do those jokes now.
Is Biden still vice president? Because if not, I'm down to thank you and God bless America. Mike Huckabee is considering a run. Mike Huckabee said the president was raised in Kenya, went to a Muslim school, and he hates America. But despite that, he still seems like a sweet person. So he sounds less like a presidential candidate and more like my aunt. And then, of course, there's Donald Trump. Donald Trump has been saying that he will run for president as a Republican, which is surprising since I just assumed he was running as a joke. Donald Trump
he's
often
saying
appears
this to
on
Trump's
Fox,
face,
which is ironic
who's
because
in
a
the
fox
crowd.
often appears on Donald Trump's head.
Trump is sitting in the audience stone-faced.
If you're at the Washington Post table with Trump and you can't finish your entree, don't worry, the fox will eat it. And if I can for a moment talk about the birther issue, when did we get so suspicious about where people were born? A USA Today poll last week said 38% of Americans think the president was definitely born in the U.S. In the same poll, in the very same poll, only 5% more said Donald Trump was definitely born in the U.S. Has it reached the point where Americans only think someone was born here if they saw it? I know I was born here, and I know my younger brother was born here. But when it comes to my older brother, I can only take him at his word. Gary Busey said recently that Donald Trump would make a great president. Of course, he said the same thing about an old rusty birdcage he found. Donald Trump owns the Miss USA pageant, which is great for Republicans because it will streamline their search for a vice president.
Look at him,
Trump
he is
said
not
recently he has a
laughing.
great relationship with the blacks, though unless the blacks are a family of white people, I bet he's mistaken. I like that Trump is filthy rich, but nobody told his accent. His whole life is models and gold leaf and marble columns, but he still sounds like a know-it-all down at the OTB. Mr. Trump may not be a good choice for president, but he would definitely make a great press secretary. How much fun would that be? Kim Jong-il is a loser. His latest rally was a flop. I feel bad for Ahmadinejad. He never man wears a windbreaker. He has no class. I, on the other hand, sell my own line of ties. You can find them at Macy's in the flammable section. So it's not a strong field, and who knows if they can beat you in 2012. But I tell you who could definitely beat you, Mr. President. 2008, Barack Obama. You would have loved him.
See, he's got balls. Like he's not
so charismatic, so charming. Was he a little too idealistic? Maybe. But you would have loved him. I still think we all remember that inauguration day, the First Lady was there. And may I say, for as beautiful as you looked that day, you look even more beautiful tonight. Now you, on the other hand, Mr. President, have aged a little. What happened to you? When you were sworn in, you looked like the guy from the Old Spice commercials. Now you look like Louis Gossett Sr. I've never said this to anyone before, but maybe you should start smoking again. Is this the change you were talking about? Mr. President, look at your hair. If your hair gets any whiter, the Tea Party is going to endorse it. I'm gonna get an angry angry voicemail from Ginny Thomas in 19 years. But I believe
Clarence
the president
Thomas
would agree with me that the mood has changed a bit since the beginning of his term. At the beginning of his term, Mr. President, housewives were trying to sneak into the White House. Not anymore. Now everyone's leaving. Axelrod, Gibbs, Rahm Emanuel. By this time next year, it'll just be you and Joe Biden trying to find toner for the copy machine. And now your re-election campaign has begun. I bet it's hard getting back in campaign mode again. You know who's really dreading it? Will.i.am. He's writing down words that rhyme with debt ceiling. The Heritage Foundation projected that joke would get a standing ovation. Probably shouldn't trust those guys. But Mr. President, I truly still have confidence in you. For one, you still have the First Lady. And of course, you still have Joe Biden. What can I say about Joe Biden that hasn't already been said incorrectly by Joe Biden? I imagine having Joe Biden as vice president.
All right, that's good. That's the guy who is supposed to be rounding out not rounding out, because we still got one other person that we need to talk about here, but I need to go to the bathroom. So we can either play a song, and I'll come right back. That is Seth Meyers. Okay, again, so here's what we have on NBC Late Night. We've got The Tonight Show, hosted by Jimmy Fallon. Late Night, hosted by, rumored to be hosted by Seth Meyers. And who's the guy that's going to be taking over for Carson Daly? That Carson Daly show, that show is, I don't know if it's still identified with, but it was at one point in the tree of Bob Costas' show. Later with Bob Costas, which started, I think, in the late 80s, and Costas hosted it for a long time. That was a really good show. And then I think Carson Daly replaced Bob Costas when he went back to sports full time. And Carson Daly has been, and there was like a couple of years where it was a different host every night. It was like a really weird, I don't know. At any rate, they're making changes with the Carson Daly show that absolutely nobody watches. I mean, I don't know anybody that watches that show. They're making changes there as well, and it's a pretty shocking one. Have you heard about this?
No.
Who they're bringing in?
Nope.
Or who's in negotiations to be brought in? Oh, yeah. No. This is good. All right, so we'll take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll finish up with that. We got a bunch of other things we got to get to today. So back with more PMS, The Pugs Moran Show. HireAHero.org presents PMS, The Pugs Moran Show on DeepElmOnAir.com.
Slowly, I walk through the door of a stranger's house, writing my note. Wanting to be outside where there's wind and the sun glows. Can you remember when I said I love you forever? Well, I do. Can you remember when I said I love you forever? Well, I do. Closely, I look at the pictures of laughing and playing and singing the melody. I love this song. And you're beautiful, your face is burned into my mind. I see you, even when you're not around. Can you remember when I said I love you forever? Well, I do. Can you remember house.
Check out DeepElemOnAir.com for all of your exclusive rates, show times, and more. Everything you need to know about the local music scene for the Dallas-Fort Worth area can be found online. DeepElemOnAir.com.
HireAHero.org presents PMS The Pugs Moran Show for a Wednesday afternoon, a cold and rainy Wednesday afternoon in beautiful, cold and rainy Dallas, Texas. Here in the studios of DeepElemOnAir.com, I am Pugs Moran. This is Jedi Jansen.
Hey.
By the way, I want to send this out to, I will put this up on Facebook as well, my Facebook page, John Pugs. As part of my work with the Armed Forces Support Foundation's project, HireAHero.org, I am looking for contacts of recently returned veterans and veteranettes, guys and gals, people who are looking for work, people who need work, putting together a project here that I'm hoping that can help. So here's what you need to do. Pugs, P-U-G-S, at HireAHero.org. Pugs at HireAHero.org. I need to get in touch with some of these people. I'm trying to create I've got a project. I'm looking for people, recently returned military veterans who are interested in, well, this business, broadcasting. It's not
Nice.
It's not an internship. This is not what we're talking about. We're looking to hire heroes and talk to them and see if we can find a couple of people for a project I'm putting together. Again, that's Pugs, P-U-G-S, at HireAHero.org. Pugs at HireAHero.org. Okay. I hope to be making a major announcement concerning that project. Now, you don't even know about this. Nah, you know a little bit about it.
Yeah, I know a little.
A little bit about it. Oh, actually, no. You're one of the other people I told. Yeah. Okay, yeah, so you know all about it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so I hope to be ironing that out today and tomorrow. Possibly on Friday, we'll announce what we're going to be doing.
It's exciting.
But yeah, big exciting things for HireAHero.org. Oh, also on my Facebook page, what's going on with Rob's song? We can't play it.
Yeah.
We're trying to figure out a way to play it. All right, I'll talk to Rob.
Yeah.
We'll get it figured out.
Well, I mean, yeah, he needs to send us a copy so we can pay it. We're broke.
Yeah.
We're poor.
Well, I'm talking to him right now on online.
Or at least I'm poor, and I can't afford to pay for it. So.
No, I'm poor too.
Okay.
I'm right with you.
Okay.
I'm poor. I hate being poor. You know what sucks about being poor? You want to know? All right, complete honesty. You know what really sucks about being poor? The worst thing about being poor is if you ever had money. I had no money growing up. I made some pretty good money for a number of years, and now I got no money again. That sucks. I guess it's like, it's better to have never loved than to have loved and lost. It's better to have never had money than to, I would almost prefer that I never, because now I know how bad off I am. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like I have a real understanding of how bad off I am. I have a nice round number of debt in my head. You know what I mean? It's like, ugh. So that kind of sucks. But you don't give up, right? Keep going.
That's right.
You keep slugging at it. All right, let's see here. What else are we doing? I wanted to talk about, V. V from Wake Up with V.
Hungover with V.
I know. I always call it that, and she gets mad. It's her birthday, so happy birthday.
Ah, happy birthday.
Happy, what do you think she is?
32.
Yeah, she told me. I think that's ballpark. Yeah, because she told me how old she was, and I think that's probably ballpark.
Okay.
She's got a teenage kid, though, right?
Dude, she's a grandma.
Yeah, but she had her kid
she's
really
about
young.
to be a grandma.
Yeah, one of her kids.
Yeah, she had her daughter at like 16.
Yeah. Well, happy birthday, V.
And then she's got 2 sons.
All right, very good. Happy birthday. It's V's birthday. Send her I don't know how you would send her anything.
Hey,
I don't know.
You know me. I don't.
We need to get our email straightened out here.
Her email is hungoverwithv@deepelemonair.com.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
But see, I don't celebrate birthdays. I told you that before we.
Yeah.
got on
What's
air.
going on with that? What's the story there? You say that you don't celebrate birthdays. You're too young to have that attitude about birthdays.
Well, honestly, I really it boils down to this. My dad died a month before my birthday when I was turning 21, and we were supposed to go to Vegas. Like, we had everything planned out, tickets and everything, and he literally died a month before I turned 21, and that's the last time I celebrated my birthday. But normally I give people the answer of, who are we to celebrate your birthday? You haven't done anything.
So birthdays have there's a bad thing in birthdays.
Yeah, it's a psychological scar.
All right, I can respect that. All right, very good. I love birthdays.
You said you have a birthday week.
I used to celebrate a birthday month. I used to give myself a birthday month, where for the entire month I was a cape-wearing prince. How dare you? Have you know?
Man.
Do you not know,
That's
kind
bad.
sir, that it is my birthday month? Why? I'm an only child. What do you expect from me?
All right, King Joffrey.
Yes. All right, so the big tease that I gave you was big flux going on over there in NBC at the late night programming division. You've got the Tonight Show changing hands from Jay Leno to Jimmy Fallon. Then you've got Seth Meyers, rumored to be the guy that's coming in to take over the Jimmy Fallon show. And are you ready for this one? All right, Carson Daly, rumored to be on his way out. Do you know who they're talking about bringing in?
Who?
Alec Baldwin.
Man.
Alec Baldwin. Now, what do you think of that?
You know, we were talking about Alec Baldwin last week. I don't really have much to say about Alec Baldwin.
Man, you should. Alec Baldwin is awesome.
That's what you were saying, but...
Alec Baldwin is not afraid of a fight. Alec Baldwin is really smart, really articulate.
What do you mean he's not afraid of a fight?
What
does that mean?
Meaning he is publicly, if you know anything about Alec Baldwin, and you don't follow the tabloids, and Alec Baldwin has been famous for the last 10 years for getting into matches, Twitter wars and all that stuff with people like Sarah Palin and, he got into a fight with a stewardess on a plane because she was forcing him to turn off Word with Friends, and he was arguing that this is a stupid rule. I'm in the middle of a really good game.
This is the guy that called his daughter, right? He did the whole...
Yeah, you
that's him?
nasty pig.
Okay,
Yeah.
is he also the one that was like drunk eating a hamburger?
No, dude,
Who's
that's David
that?
Hasselhoff. No. Alec Baldwin's very dignified. Aside from, your take on his daughter Ireland when he called her and left that really awful voicemail that at the time, I've always liked Alec Baldwin. I've always thought he was very funny. From the first time, he was always, in the 80s, he was a young leading man type. He was like a Ryan Gosling.
He was great in Beetlejuice.
That was when he was getting a little bit older even. But earlier in his career, he was like a Ryan Gosling. He was like a good-looking, he was like people's sexiest man alive and all that. But then in the early 90s, he started hosting Saturday Night Live, and he appeared in the bit Canteen Boy with Adam Sandler. Do you remember that bit?
Yeah, I do.
Where Alec Baldwin is trying to molest Canteen Boy?
They're at the...
And that blew my mind. It made me look at Alec Baldwin in a completely different way. And then he went on to do a lot more comedy and a lot more drama. He was still doing... His role in Glengarry Glen Ross, which is a movie that was mentioned yesterday, I think we were talking about. He plays the closer. He plays like the super badass... Yeah, let me play it for you. Why not, since we're doing a lot of YouTube stuff today. But this is Alec Baldwin. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll give you two examples of the multifaceted Alec Baldwin. Okay, is that fair?
Yep.
Okay, so the first one that I'll do is I'm going to pull up his famous Glengarry Glen Ross speech. Okay? Oh, Jesus. I put Alec, A-L-E-C, into the search, and the very first thing that comes up, Alec Baldwin, Glengarry Glen Ross.
Wow.
Because it's a famous speech.
Really?
Oh, God, yeah. You've probably heard it on a million radio shows and never really put together where it is. All right, here it is. It's the speech. And by the way, sales teams and sales groups, they play this speech for motivation. This has become an iconic thing in the world of business and sales. This is right up there, and I would say it's even bigger than Gordon Gekko's Greed is Good from Wall Street. You remember that speech, Michael Douglas? Greed is good. No, this is even bigger than that as far as like sales teams trying to motivate themselves and business guys. All right, so here's Alec Baldwin's famous, I guess they're calling it the art of selling. This is from Glengarry Glen. Sorry, hold on. I'm very tongue-tied today, folks, because my voice is shot, and I'm trying to work through it. So work with me. But okay, so here it is. This is Alec Baldwin, rumored to be taking over for Carson Daly.
Oh, have I got your attention now? Good. Because we're adding a little something to this month's sales contest. As you all know, first prize is a Cadillac Eldorado. Anybody want to see second prize? Second prize, a set of steak knives. Third prize is you're fired. You get the picture? You laughing now? You got leads. Mitch and Murray paid good money. Get their names to sell them. You can't close the leads you're given. You can't close shit. You are shit. Hit the bricks, pal, and beat it, because you are going out.
The leads are weak.
The leads are weak. The fucking leads are weak. You're weak. I've been in this business 15 years.
What's your name?
Fuck you. That's my name. You know why, mister? Because you drove a Hyundai to get here tonight. I drove an $80,000 BMW. That's my name. And your name is you're wanting. And you can't play in the man's game. You can't close them. Then go home and tell your wife your troubles. Because only one thing counts in this life. Get them to sign on the line which is dotted. You hear me, you fucking faggots? A, B, C. A, always, B, B, C, closing. Always be closing. Always be closing. AIDA, attention, interest, decision, action. Attention, do I have your attention? Interest, are you interested? I know you are, because it's fuck or walk. You close or you hit the bricks. Decision, have you made your decision for Christ? And action. AIDA, get out there. You got the prospects coming in. You think they came in to get out of the rain? A guy don't walk on the lot lest he wants to buy. They're sitting out there waiting to give you their money. Are you going to take it? Are you man enough to take it? Incredible. What's the problem, pal? You, Moss.
You're such a hero. You're so rich. How come you're coming down here and waste your time with such a bunch of bums?
You see this watch? You see this watch?
Yeah.
That watch costs more than your car. I made $970,000 last year. How much you make? You see, pal, that's who I am, and you're nothing. Nice guy? I don't give a shit. Good father? Fuck you. Go home and play with your kids. You want to work here? Close. You think this is abuse? You think this is abuse, you cocksucker? You can't take this. How can you take the abuse you get on a sit? You don't like it? Leave. I can go out there tonight. The materials you got make myself $15,000. Tonight, in 2 hours, can you? Can you? Go and do likewise. AIDA. Get mad, you son of a bitches. Get mad. You know what it takes to sell real estate? It takes brass balls to sell real estate. Go and do likewise, gents. The money's out there. You pick it up, it's yours. You don't, I got no...
All right, so that's, sorry, we let it play. I'm really trying to rest my voice here. But that's, you can see why sales is the worst profession on earth. I mean, that is actually, that was written by David Mamet to sort of show how evil the sales world is and to show how cutthroat, a depiction of, these people are not to be trusted. These people that are trying to sell you something do not care about you. That's what that scene was written to depict. But of course, actual salespeople have, they've taken that scene and now they show it to one another like, yeah, this is how we gotta be. It's like they own it. It's crazy. It's human nature. We're all terrible. So yeah, I think Alec Baldwin actually would be really good on that. He's very funny. Anybody who watched 30 Rock knows that the multiple Emmy awards that he won for his role as Jack Donaghy. Certainly, I like his commercials too. Well, what are the commercials you do? You don't even know. You're useless when I'm talking about this kind of thing. So there you go. Those are the big deals that are going on over at NBC and late night. Although, wait, I did want to mention this. Where's that story? I had this great story on Lorne Michaels. Did you happen to see this today? I know we were talking about it. Lorne Michaels, he's getting up there in age. Lorne Michaels, the creator of Saturday Night Live. Also, basically the guy behind the careers of just about every major comedy star in the last...
Seriously.
Seriously, I mean, you can't name some...
Is.
If you went on to do movies from Saturday Night Live, chances are Lorne Michaels executive produced your first movie. Maybe even your second, and maybe even... I mean, we're talking people from Bill Murray and John Belushi to...
Eddie Murphy.
To Eddie Murphy, to Adam Sandler, Will Ferrell, everybody. Kristen Wiig, even the ones all the way up through now. So Lorne Michaels has sort of been rewarded by NBC after a long, long run. I mean, Saturday Night Live, I think, is in its 36th season. Get this. I don't know how old Michaels is. Michaels has got to be 70 years old, I would think. So he had taken over when Jimmy Fallon came to do late night, when he took it over for Conan O'Brien. Lorne Michaels, because Jimmy Fallon is one of Lorne Michaels' guys, Lorne Michaels became the executive producer of Late Night. That's a Monday through Friday or Monday through Thursday, whatever they shoot, 1 hour a night talk show. So on top of Lorne Michaels' executive producing Saturday Night Live duties, he also, I mean, that's a lot of work for a 70-year-old guy. I mean, I know that he has assistants doing a whole bunch of things and he's got staffs, but that's a lot of work, man. Managing 2 major network shows. NBC today announced that Lorne Michaels additionally will be keeping his job as executive producer of Late Night when his newest protege rolls in, Seth Meyers, but he's now even going to be the executive producer of The Tonight Show when Jimmy Fallon takes it over. The show is moving. NBC is moving The Tonight Show from Los Angeles back to New York so that Lorne Michaels can produce 2 hours a night, Monday through Friday on NBC, The Tonight Show and Late Night, and continue to produce Saturday Night Live. Now, here's the big debate that's happening right now. Everybody believed that he would take over The Tonight Show and maintain his executive producer job on Late Night. They believe that because of his relationships with both Jimmy Fallon and Seth Meyers, the guy rumored to be coming in. What people are wondering is it time for him to step down from Saturday Night Live? The rumor that was denied just a couple of days ago by the girl at the center of it is that Tina Fey is going to replace Lorne Michaels as executive producer of Saturday Night Live.
What?
Yeah, I mean, what do you mean what? I mean, that would be like the only person that could. Tina Fey has been so obsessed with Saturday Night Live that not only was she the head writer and then she became the news anchor of Weekend Update, but when she got her big break and created her hit TV show, 30 Rock, the show was about her being a fictional Lorne Michaels of a Saturday Night Live show. I mean, it's her dream. It's like what she's not a sitcom. She's not comfortable with movies. It's that weekly sort of Saturday Night Live thing that is all her. Why don't you think that's a good move?
I just think that him leaving is altogether not a good move.
I don't know. He really is. He's 70, dude. He's 70. Saturday Night Live. He's 70 and a man.
So keep him on Saturday Night Live, not all these other shows.
Well, I think Saturday Night Live needs to be the one that's younger. and edgier. Those other shows, they got to appeal to grandmas in Iowa. So let the 70-year-old executive producer be in charge of The Tonight Show. And Saturday Night Live is supposed to be a bit insurgent, a bit provocative. I mean, Tina Fey is both of those things. And she's brilliant, and it's in her blood. She thinks Lorne Michaels is Jesus. I mean, she like worships him. And even her denial. Here, let me try and find Tina Fey's denial. Tina Fey was asked up front. Let me see if I can find this story. Oh, you know what? It was on my Facebook page. Will, the Will Brooks put it up there. Tina Fey was asked, excuse me, whether or not she was considering it, because the rumors were that it would be difficult for Lorne Michaels to do all three. And it's so funny because we were having this conversation on Facebook last night, and now this morning they make the announcement that it's official. Lorne Michaels has taken over The Tonight Show. Man, that's a lot of freaking work. So they went and they asked Tina Fey, hey, if these rumors are true, if Lorne Michaels steps down, people are saying that they really want you, that they want you to be the new... And Lorne Michaels has said that he would feel most comfortable with Tina Fey because, that's his girl, as he created her. Oh, here, I will find it. Oh, yeah, here it is. Okay. Tina Fey was, and this appears on the AV. Did you ever go to the AV Club? You ever see that website?
The what?
The AV Club?
No.
Oh, damn it. I think I lost it now. Oh, no, there it is. AVClub.com. It's a great website for, stuff like this. Inside television and behind-the-scenes stuff and breaking news. Sort of like Nerd Tabloid. Like if people who are really interested in who's going to be the next executive producer of Saturday Night Live are probably not as interested in Amanda Bynes' latest escapade. So it's like Nerd Tabloid. It says, no, Tina Fey does not want to take over SNL when Lorne Michaels retires. Last month, we found out that Tina Fey does not want to host the Oscars. Today, Fey has confirmed that she also would not want to take over Saturday Night Live from Lorne Michaels, should he decide to retire. He is the center of that show, Fey told the Huffington Post in an interview, and I think when he wants to stop, it should just stop. We can also most likely assume at this point that she doesn't want to be the new face of Chanel No. 5 and isn't running in 2016 and has no aspirations to be the first woman on the moon. All right, so that was her denial. That is not much of a denial for a woman who worships Lorne Michaels. The question is, hey, are you ready to replace Lorne Michaels? I'm trying to think of who that would be, who they could say that to me. I don't really know, but do you have a mentor or someone that you would like to use as an example?
Yeah, Jagger.
Jagger. All right. If they came to you, 1029 Now, where Jagger's doing mornings, if they came to you and said, hey, you want to replace Jagger? You would say, no one can replace Jagger. Are you kidding me? When that show ends, because you're being deferential to him. You're his, he's, or you're not sucking up, but whatever it is.
Yeah. I get what you're saying.
That's all she's doing. Last month, we found out that Tina Fey doesn't want to host the Oscars. Today, Fey has confirmed that she also would not want to take over Saturday Night Live from Lorne Michaels. Would not want to take over from Lorne Michaels. It's a whole different thing if Lorne Michaels picks up the phone and goes, Tina, our baby's in trouble, and I don't know that I can do all this. That's one. That's not taking. They're putting it like taking over. Like she could somehow replace him. And because he's her Jesus, she says he is the center of that show. I think they should end the show or just stop. I mean, of course, that's what she's going to say. And the other thing here is, especially with the announcement today that Lorne Michaels is taking over The Tonight Show, don't think for a minute that her agents, her people haven't already been talking to NBC. She is negotiating a contract. She's not going to go into the press and go, I would love to take over that show. I would do it for absolutely nothing. No, she's freaking Tina Fey. She's got a chance to really cash in from NBC now. I mean, she is probably the most respected female comedy writer, comedy producer, comedy creator that I've ever known. Have you ever known a female in comedy that was as decorated, as critically loved, as acclaimed as Tina Fey? And on top of that, she galvanized the country when she played Sarah Palin. When she came back to SNL and played, I mean, this woman is she's a fantastic woman. She's really got her shit. So she's not going to lowball. She's not going to take anything to come back to Saturday Night Live because they know that she's obsessed with it. She's going to say, no. You kidding me? I don't want to do that. Yeah, Lauren. That's Lauren's thing. Well, they should just end it because he's the center of that show. That's what she's saying. And trust me, that will be a part of the negotiation. When she's sitting there with NBC, she's going to have her head in her hands, whether it's sincere or not, and she's going to be saying stuff like, oh, I can't follow a legend. I don't know. I'm uncomfortable with taking this risk. Well, what if we add another 0 to the contract? Oh, I don't know. It's getting a little more comfortable. I mean, that's what she's doing. She's a smart woman. And Lorne Michaels is probably in her back ear going, that's right. Keep saying you're not interested. They'll pay more. They'll pay more. Do you know what they're paying me? They'll pay you more. I mean, that's what's going on because that's what friends do to each other when they go up against the man. So I wouldn't take her denying that she's interested as meaning she's not going to do it. I think it's going to be very interesting in the next couple of days because if the story broke today about the Tonight Show, about Lorne Michaels officially becoming the exec producer of the Tonight Show, then this is all going to happen in the next couple of weeks. Saturday Night Live is ending their season. So we're going to start hearing in the next couple of weeks cast members that are leaving. That's when we'll hear Seth Meyers is officially leaving to take over for Jimmy Fallon. We'll hear that in the next couple of weeks. We may also hear things like Tina Fey is officially coming on to replace Lorne Michaels. They may do a final handing of the baton at the end of this season.
So who do you think they'll replace the weekly update with?
I have no idea. I mean, that's a hard one. Because there are a lot of people on Saturday Night Live's current cast that are new and not really well defined. But, funny you should ask, Taran Killam and Cecily Strong. I would say right now, if I was a producer on Saturday Night Live, I would say get them in a studio and let's have them run some mock updates. I want to see what Taran Killam and Cecily Strong can do. Do you watch that? You don't even watch, so you don't even know who these people are.
I don't.
These are two Saturday Night Live kids who have been there probably a year or two. In fact, the guy Taran Killam, turns out, he was like a child star on Nickelodeon.
Oh.
He was on like the Amanda Bynes show or something.
Oh, you're not talking about the fat black guy?
No, that's Kenan Thompson.
Kenan, yeah.
This is the second.
Was on Nickelodeon too.
There are now currently 2 cast members on Saturday Night Live who had hit TV shows on Nickelodeon.
Oh, okay. What about Kenan? Would he be? I think he'd be good weekly update.
Nah, man. That guy, he's all right. People always, whenever Saturday Night Live comes up, someone will always mention Kenan Thompson. And my response is always, he's all right. I mean, here's the thing. He's really likable. Seems like a nice guy. And he does that, what's up with that spot that I think is kind of funny. But he does this other character on Saturday Night Live, this like French stand-up comic that sucks. So, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think he's that strong. I really don't. I think he's very likable. I don't think he's that strong. And then there's people like Jason Sudeikis. Someone on Facebook suggested, what about Jason Sudeikis? Well, Jason Sudeikis probably won't be back next season. Jason Sudeikis last year, at the end of the season, was really close to leaving. But it was Kristen Wiig's year to leave, and they did a really nice send-off for Kristen Wiig at the end of last season. So I think Jason Sudeikis said, I'll do one more year. And then when I leave next year, I'll get the big going away.
Hutch is going so far in the chat box to say SNL is so weak this year, something has to change or it needs to be canceled.
Wow, he doesn't watch. It's not. There isn't a critic in America who agrees with that. Saturday Night Live is popularly considered to be on an upswing and a real serious. I mean, Seth Meyers is being called one of the best head writers in its history.
Hutch is a lady, by the way.
Oh, Hutch is a lady? Yeah. I don't think she's watching. She should go to the Huffington Post. The Huffington Post every Sunday does a really interesting thing.
She says she watches every week. The writing sucks.
Well, Well, a lot of America disagrees with you. I mean, here's the problem with Saturday Night Live. There has never been a time it's been good. It has never been good. You know when it was good? 1976 through 1979. The not ready for primetime players of Belushi, Aykroyd, Bill Murray, Chevy Chase, Jane Curtin, Garrett Morris, those were the last time. When they left and they brought in a whole new cast in 1980, it became an annual song that everyone would sing. Saturday Night Live sucks now. Saturday Night Live sucks now. And then you get 10 years out, And you go, hey, remember 10 years ago when you were saying Saturday Night Live sucked? Yeah, Eddie Murphy really sucked, didn't he? Oh, yeah, those were horrible. Oh, remember 10 years ago when you said Saturday Night Live sucked? Yeah, Chris Rock is talentless. So is Chris Farley and Adam Sandler. Those people went on to do nothing. You're right, it really sucked. It is popular to dislike Saturday Night Live in the moment. It isn't truth. The fact of the matter is that it wouldn't have lasted 36 seasons if it wasn't continually pulling in the proper demos and doing something that is culturally relevant. And that's what it is. It has become iconic on Saturday nights when they're in production to tune into Saturday Night Live and see parodies of all the things that happened that week, commentary on the world around us, silly breakthrough performances from people like well, Jason Sudeikis, Bill Hader. These are people who I think, when they leave Saturday Night Live, will be the new Will Ferrells and Adam Sandlers. And oh, you're crazy. Really? Because it's happened every year with Saturday Night Live. When has Saturday Night Live not had somebody who was popular on the show go off to do movies and fail? When have they failed? When did Adam Sandler, Will Ferrell, Bill Murray, Eddie Murphy, John Belushi, Dan Aykroyd, Chevy Chase, when did those people ever fail? Saturday Night Live is the greatest launching pad for comedy careers in American history.
I don't know, dude. Did you see that Rob Schneider movie where he's got like animal parts?
No, look, they all can't be leading men, but Rob Schneider is a working actor in Hollywood with a career. He's still a celebrity. Very few. There's probably about 5% of Saturday Night Live cast members that just evaporate into history, that you don't even remember. Even the ones that, did really little on the show and then you thought would do nothing, even those ones are on sitcoms every week. Even those ones appear in movies regularly. There's Anna Gasteyer. Anna Gasteyer, who I always thought was funny, but nobody really thought was funny. She left Saturday Night Live and everyone, we'll never see from her again or hear from her again. Well, now she's on that show, Suburgatory, and she's in like a ton of movies, always playing the wacky side character. So there are, if you come out of Saturday Night Live, you have a career. I'll put it that way. You may not be Eddie Murphy, but you'll have a career. So you might be Rob Schneider or John Lovitz. Those guys have nice homes in Malibu. What are you complaining about? Do you know what the new one is, though? You know what the new, for years it was, before Saturday Night Live, it was The Tonight Show. If a comic did well on The Tonight Show, that could launch their career. Then Saturday Night Live came around and introduced this repertory cast of characters that America got used to, and that became the launching pad for comedy. The Daily Show is now the launching pad for comedy stars.
Really?
My God, whether it's Stephen Colbert, Steve Carell, Olivia Munn even, as far as chicks go, The Daily Show, if you're a correspondent on The Daily Show, chances are if you're popular, you're going to have a career when you leave. You're going to have a movie. Steve Carell's one of the biggest movie stars and he was like, a wacky reporter on The Daily Show. Jon Stewart's entire career was made by The Daily Show. Stephen Colbert.
Yeah,
his entire thing was created. But you notice about Stephen Colbert, which I like? Stephen Colbert knows that The Daily Show is the launching pad. It's the repertory company. It's just Stephen Colbert on the Stephen Colbert Show. He doesn't share that spotlight with anybody. It's like he doesn't have a cast of recurring correspondents. He does his lone single camera monologue piece, then he'll do some produced piece, and then he'll interview a guest. There is never like Daily Show's all. So I find that interesting. It's almost like he's being territorial and protective. Like in the early days, he probably went, "Oh no, if I'm getting this shot of a TV show, yeah, I'm not going to bring any of you guys. It's just going to be me. I don't need anybody upstaging me. I could be canceled in 2 weeks. If I do, it's going to be me alone. And if it's a big hit, then it's going to be me who becomes the big hit." And he did it. But yeah, those are the launching pads. Anyway, I think Saturday Night Live is really good. Here, let me pull up. I'm going to throw out some names. You tell me if you know these.
Hutch had one more name. Okay. She said, "Tell that to Chris Kattan."
Well, Chris Kattan is a working actor. We still know who he is. If you can say, "Tell that to," and you still know their name, they're making more money than you and me are.
Done?
Okay.
The last thing he did was he did the movie that was a parody off the. No, wait, I'm sorry. No, he did the movie where he was like driving that little car.
Here, all right. You know what? Look, Chris Kattan. If you can name them, if you can say, I'm going to pull this up. We'll go through some cast members that really did nothing. Because I'm not going to say that it launched everybody to stardom, but don't throw Chris Kattan at me. He's a working actor. He may not be any good, but again, I bet you he's got a really kick-ass condo in L.A. somewhere. At the very worst, he's got a $300,000 condo in L.A., I promise you. Chris Kattan was on Saturday Night Live. He's got that. Here, all right, so I will go through a list of characters here. These are people who appeared on Saturday Night Live who were cast members. Oh my God. Yeah, there are a lot of people that we forget about. All right. Current players on, so we'll give you the current ones, okay? Current ones, Fred Armisen, who I think is very funny. Portlandia is an amazing show. Vanessa Bayer, who I really like. Her Miley Cyrus is very funny. Bill Hader, he is a genius. Taron Killam, that's the guy who I think should take over for Seth Meyers. Seth Meyers. Bobby Moynihan, he does Drunk Uncle. He does very little else, but Drunk Uncle's very funny. Nasim Pedrad, not only is she really hot and might be the hottest female comedian ever, but she's super funny. Nasim Pedrad playing Kim Kardashian makes me wet my pants. She is very funny. Jay Farrow, that dude sucks. That's a guy who does a dead-on Denzel Washington and Jay-Z imitation and nothing else.
Hey, what is The Middle?
The Middle is a TV show that's on ABC.
Oh, okay, because Chris is a side character on that show.
Sorry. Let's move that $300,000 condo to a $3 million Beverly Hills home. You're right. I'll tell that to Chris Kattan. You tell that to Chris Kattan.
And Paco said,
my God, what is your barometer of success? I mean, if that's not successful, then I'm living under a rock or a box behind a Denny's.
Paco was saying the Chelsea Lately is the new launching pad for stand-up comics.
He is very right. Yeah, Chelsea Lately is doing a lot on that because so many people are tuning in. More than tune into normal. That's an appointment show every night at 10 o'clock. People are coming to E. And she's putting on, I don't think she puts on a lot of great comics. Like, I have some of them I think are like, oh, really? This guy's getting a shot? But she does. She has, she's being very generous. It's definitely a launching pad. All right, so we went through Kenan Thompson, Jason Sudeikis are the only two other current players. Jason Sudeikis is going to be a massive movie star. Massive movie star. He could have been one this summer, but he decided to stay an extra year at Saturday Night Live. He will leave at the end of this season. Oh man, and you know who he's getting married to? Olivia Wilde. Holy crap. Oh, on my list, my new updated list of the hottest chicks on the planet, number 1 and number 2 are both named Olivia. Olivia Wilde is my number 1 hottest chick on the planet. Olivia Munn is my number 2 hottest chick on the planet. Isn't that strange? 2 Olivias.
Wow. Yeah, she's hot.
That's what Jason Sudeikis, future box office superstar. That's what he's going to bed with every night.
That's his future ex-wife?
I don't know, because that's the thing about Jason Sudeikis could be Tom Hanks. Jason Sudeikis has this real, likable, non-threatening, could definitely be a leading man, has some accents of leading man looks, but isn't so good looking that guys would hate him. I mean, he's got everything. He can play comedy. I wonder if he can do drama. We'll probably see. But Jason Sudeikis is going to be a huge, huge star. I promise.
I have no idea who this guy is.
Jason Sudeikis?
Yeah.
Oh
wow,
my
I'm really
God.
out of touch.
Well, he's played Joe Biden on Saturday Night Live for the last 5 years, hysterically. Jason Sudeikis, he's been in a bunch of movies. He's been in, and he stole the show in all of them. You really don't know who he is, huh?
No.
All right. Let's see. All right. He originally, the first time I noticed Jason Sudeikis was I think it was his first season. And it was Kristen Wiig's first season as well. And they created a couple of characters called the A-Holes, which they only did like 3 times. And it was, I thought, the funniest sketch Saturday Night Live had done. It was Kristen Wiig basically playing like a Paris Hilton type of chick, and Jason was her boyfriend who had the popped collar, and he was a dude, bro. Everything was bro, everything. And they were just a couple of a-holes. It was a very funny skit. That was how he broke through. Let's see. What has he done? What movies might you have seen? He was in The 10, Watching the Detectives, Meet Bill, The Rocker, Semi-Pro, What Happens in Vegas, The Bounty Hunter, Going the Distance. All right, he started, this is where his career started to take off. Hall Pass. That was his first starring role. Hall Pass. You remember Hall Pass? Hall Pass, I will argue, is as good as Old School. It was kind of an Old School-like movie. Really? You don't remember? You don't remember Hall Pass?
See, I don't like movies like that.
Horrible Bosses. He was really funny in Horrible Bosses.
Okay, I saw that one.
All right. Well, he was one of the main three guys. One of the stars that had a horrible boss.
Okay. All right.
Let's see. Then The Campaign. He's got a bunch of movies in production. Anyway,
he does have one of those faces though that just it just doesn't really. I don't know. He looks like just one of those guys.
He's wildly likable. His demeanor is wildly likable, really friendly, really warm, but he's also silly. Like his silly humor will just overtake that warm. He's got everything that you need in he's Tom Hanks. He is that same, and people forget Tom Hanks is one of the greatest actors. Tom Hanks was a comedian. Tom Hanks got his career started in Bosom Buddies, probably the dumbest, wackiest sitcom of all time. Tom Hanks wore a dress on primetime TV in what many consider to be the worst sitcom of all time. So don't tell me that Jason Sudeikis can't be Tom Hanks. Jeez. I like to put on the big Jewy glasses and pretend to be a Hollywood agent. I'll tell you, that kid's got everything. That kid, he's got the non-threatening good looks. I'd let him date my daughter. I'd like to have a beer with him. You can shoot hoops with him in the driveway, and he's funny as hell. I mean, that's really what you need. Jason Sudeikis is actually the kind of guy who I could see doing The Tonight Show, being like a host like that. But I want to see him act, because his acting is too good. His characters, his impersonations. All right, so now let's go through a list. Here's what we're looking for. We're looking for Saturday Night Live cast members who went on to do nothing, who we don't remember. And I will start it off with Peter Aykroyd. Peter Aykroyd. Not to be confused with Dan Aykroyd. Peter Aykroyd appeared on Saturday Night Live for one season between 1979 and 1980. Oddly, it was the season that his brother Dan Aykroyd, the big star, left. And he came in for a year. What did they hope no one would notice? All right, 1995, this Saturday Night Live cast member, who I've never even heard of, Morwana Banks. You ever heard of her? All right, now she's doing nothing. No. You got Jim Belushi. He went on to do stuff. John Belushi. He went on to do stuff. Jim Brewer. He went on to do stuff. Paul Britton, 2010 to 2012. I don't remember him. A. Whitney Brown. He's a writer. All right, how about Dana Carvey went on to do something. Chevy Chase went on to do something. Ellen Cleghorn. That's a good one. And I don't know what Ellen Cleghorn went on to do. I don't know if Saturday Night Live launched her. George Coe, never heard of him. Billy Crystal, Jane Curtin, Joan Cusack, the late Tom Davis, Denny Dillon. Denny Dillon was on Saturday Night Live, and she kind of went on to do a bunch. She played character roles for the next 30 years. Let's see. You got Robert Downey Jr. Hey, did Robert Downey Jr. go on to do anything?
Yeah.
Oh, he did? I'm not sure. I've never heard that name.
Wow.
Yeah, people do not understand the full impact that Saturday Night Live has had as a launching pad for people's careers. Brian Doyle Murray, Rachel Dratch, Robin Duke, Nora Dunn, Christine Ebersol, Dean Edwards, Abby Elliott, who I think left Saturday Night Live way too early, but I think I'm going to put the big, I'll tell you, the Hollywood agent glasses on. I want a piece of Abby Elliott as well. I want to own Abby Elliott, and I want to be in the Jason Sudeikis business. I want those two stars. I think they're going places. Abby Elliott is the daughter of former Saturday Night Live cast member Chris Elliott. Abby Elliott did an Angelina Jolie impersonation that was so dead on. I want to be in the Abby Elliott business. Jimmy Fallon, Chris Farley, Will Ferrell. Will Ferrell, did he ever go on to do anything? How about Tina Fey? She ever go on to do anything? Will Forte. Will Forte is hysterical. You know who Will Forte is?
Yeah.
MacGruber! Yeah. That guy's hysterical. That guy has failed at almost everything that he has done, but he has been the funniest thing in everything that was really bad. He needs some help picking scripts and stuff. But Will Forte is very funny. Let's see. Then you got a bunch of Brad Hall. You know what Brad Hall went on to do?
No.
Marry Julie Louis-Dreyfus. So he did all right. We're not holding any bake sales for Brad Hall, the former SNL cast member. Speaking of, what about Julia Louis-Dreyfus? Did she ever go on to do anything? Yeah, Saturday Night Live launched her. Elaine from Seinfeld?
Oh,
My God.
Okay, yeah.
Saturday Night Live. I bet you didn't know that.
Nope.
Nope.
I'm still blown away by Robert Downey Jr. I had no idea about that one.
Mm-hmm.
When was that again?
Robert Downey Jr. mid-'80s. At some point, he was only like 19. He was young. He was real young. He and Anthony Michael Hall had done the movie Weird Science for John Hughes, and they were teenagers. And it was, Robert Downey Jr. wasn't a star before. Nobody knew who he was or anything, but he was that funny kid from Weird Science. So Lorne Michaels said, hey, next season, these two teenagers, why not bring them on Saturday Night Live? So Anthony Michael Hall from 16 Candles, he had done 16 Candles, so he was a bit more of a name. But Anthony Michael Hall and Robert Downey Jr. were brought on as a team. And man, the stories that Robert Downey Jr. tells, apparently him and Anthony Michael Hall as 19-year-olds on Saturday Night Live, they were intoxicated the entire time. I mean, they say it was like the worst situation because it was all these old writers and holdovers from the Belushi days, and they were just these two like 19-year-old kids partying with Terry Southern. Yeah, that could destroy an adolescence. All right, let's see here. Who else? Victoria Jackson. She went on to be a crazy right-wing psycho. Phil Hartman. The great Phil Hartman.
Yeah.
Rich Hall. Daryl Hammond. Now that's a guy who needs Saturday Night Live. Because that guy, remember Daryl Hammond? He did every impersonation on Saturday Night Live for 14 years. He might be the longest reigning cast member in Saturday Night Live history. Let's see here. Yvonne Hudson. You ever heard of her?
Nope.
How about Melanie Hutzel? No, exactly. So there are two obscure people, two people that didn't take advantage of the Saturday Night Live launching pad. Tim Kazurinsky, remember that guy? Yeah, you don't have to remember that guy. Yeah. But he's a very successful Hollywood writer. He writes movies. He's like a screenwriter and all that. So he's done all right, although outside the spotlight. Let's see. David Koechner. Do you know who David Koechner is? David Koechner is a comedian who was on Saturday Night Live for 1 year. I thought he was very funny, and then he very shockingly went away. And I don't know why he went away, but he reappears on The Office. Do you ever watch The Office? He plays traveling salesman Phil Packer, or Bill Packer, who is this really obnoxious, sexually aggressive, socially retarded salesman that travels through town, and he works for Dunder Mifflin, but he's on the road. But when he stops through Scranton, he hangs out at The Office, and he's just really awful. So that's David Koechner. He's funny. Bill Murray, did he go on to do anything?
Yep.
Mike Myers, he go on to do anything?
Oh, Mike Myers.
Yeah?
Love that guy.
Kevin Nealon, Lorraine Newman, Don Novello, Michael O'Donoghue, Sherry O'Terry, Chris Parnell, Joe Piscopo. Boy, Joe Piscopo didn't capitalize on anything. He really fell off into oblivion.
I didn't know he was on that, though.
Where do you think he came from? Where do you think these people came from? Amy Poehler, Randy Quaid, Colin Quinn, Gilda Radner, Rob Riggle, Chris Rock, Charles Rocket, Andy Samberg, Adam Sandler, Rob Schneider, Paul Schaefer. There's one of the people that are Paul Schaefer, Late Night with David Letterman. He started on Saturday Night Live. People don't. Did you know that? No, that's blowing your mind. Sarah Silverman, Robert Schmeigel, David Spade, Ben Stiller.
Do you like Sarah Silverman?
Love Sarah Silverman. Why not?
I just don't get her comedy.
Yeah, she's an acquired taste. Let's see here. It just goes on and on and on. Let's take a break here. We'll come back. We'll talk about something different. We'll get into some important stuff. Anyway, Saturday Night Live, it's a very important thing, I think, in the American history. It needs to be maintained. It doesn't suck. I'm going to respectfully disagree with the girl in the chat room.
Hutch.
I'm going to respectfully disagree in your your critique of Saturday Night Live. It has moments that are absolutely awful, but it has always had moments that were absolutely awful. But I promise you, every season will produce a greatest hits DVD that you would watch and you would enjoy. That's the nature of the beast. We'll take a break. We'll come back. HireAHero.org presents PMS on DeepElemOnAir.com. Back after this.
Riding past the railroad tracks, my stereo won't pick up a damn thing. Forget the people that I met back there, I shrug them off and I headed the wrong way. Hey, if I hear what they say, I know I'm wrong if I do it the right way. What separates us soon will have its own place. I know the world's been waiting for one thing. I left my rider past the railroad tracks, 'cause I've been to a dream where I wake up with nothing. So let the notes grow older, I must be too. Mama, sing me away up into the sunbeam. Hey! Never will I, ever will I fall in love again. It's true, last I'm with you. Never will I, ever will I hit the road again. It's true, last I'm with you.
Live, local, in your neighborhood.
I want to try something radical.
This is Deep Ellum On Air, serving the DFW Metroplex. Live, DeepElemOnAir.com.
YourAhero.org presents PMS, the Pugs Moran Show, for a Wednesday afternoon, live from our beautiful studios nestled snugly in Highland Park, Texas. DeepElmOnAir.com. Temporary housing for the studios. We've been evicted from Deep Ellum for being too cool. And forced to live in the toniest zip code in America.
It's funny, corporate greed kicked us out of Deep Ellum right into the middle of corporate
right into
greed.
their backyard. When the corporate greed who kicked us out of Deep Ellum comes home to barbecue, we're the new neighbors. Think about it that way.
Yeah.
All right, a couple of things that I want to mention right off the top. I forgot. Look, I'm feeling kind of crappy. My throat is messed up, so I've been playing a lot of audio today and messing around. But we do have things that I want to discuss, and I think we'll get into that now. First of all, Jedi. My God. Guess who I like now? Guess who I like now? Guess who's now like one of my favorite people who I feel I need to apologize for years of belittling?
I don't know.
Kid Rock.
Oh, really?
I don't know how it happened, dude. I don't know how it happened. He was on Chelsea Handler last night. He said that. You know what he's doing with his concert tickets? This guy, I wish I had audio of this. I don't have audio of this.
What the hell's going on? Every time we talk about something, the next day it's in the news.
I know. We talked about Kid Rock. It was surprising that Kid Rock wasn't involved in the accidental racist song between LL Cool J and Brad Paisley. It seemed like something that Kid Rock should have been involved in, but he wasn't. Yeah, we mentioned that yesterday. So last night I go home and I'm watching Chelsea Handler, and she has Kid Rock on. I'm like, all right, I'll sit and watch. You know what? Chelsea Handler can interview people. And by the way, this to longtime listeners, yes, I know. In the last 6 months, I have completely changed my tune on Chelsea Handler. I like her now. I used to tell people, oh, you should watch Chelsea Handler. But I hate her. Oh, I hate that bitch. No, guess what? I love that bitch now. I don't know what happened. I love the way she interviews people. She is absolutely fearless. She is a female Howard Stern when it comes to interviewing celebrities. And that she'll tell you. She's like, that's what I'm doing. Like, Howard showed that you can do it, and I decided to blow people's mind by doing it as a woman. As a good-looking woman. You know, who will ask you.
Did you see that video with her and Conan in the shower?
No, but she's cool. All of that stuff. Like, the more I read about her, she's a cool chick.
You should see that video.
She's a cool chick. And you know who her best friend is? Jenny McCarthy. Her and Jenny McCarthy is also a cool chick. I mean, I know people who know her and know her well, and she is a cool chick. Everybody says she's like real approachable, and she's just like a regular chick from the neighborhood.
I love that, man. When
yeah.
Celebrities are like that.
Those two, though, man. Could you imagine those two hot chicks approaching those two hot chicks in a bar? Chelsea Handler and Jenny McCarthy? Oh, you better have top game. Because they will destroy you. They will tear you to pieces. They will make you feel stupid and send you back to your friends looking like the biggest loser. Try and play some weak shit game on Chelsea Handler and Jenny McCarthy while they're just out having cocktails. Some LA club. All right, so Kid Rock, he goes on Chelsea Handler, and he's promoting his new summer tour. And she starts talking to him about, I really wanted to have you on, because I love what you're doing.
What is he doing?
Kid Rock went to Live Nation or whatever and worked out a deal with them where he said he's not getting paid for this tour, but every ticket is $20. No ticket more than $20. No beers more than $4. Parking is $4 at all the venues, and t-shirt sales, there's not a piece of merchandise that's more than $20. And he literally looked at Chelsea Handler and said, I'm way overpaid. I can afford a pay cut if we can all have some fun this summer. And I just thought, what a refreshing attitude. I mean, he's basically, he recognizes that he's way over. Bob Ritchie, or whatever the hell Kid Rock's real name is, realizes that he's probably worth about $50 million at this point, and that's probably about 4.9999 more than he should be. and he's grateful for that. This is what I hate. I hate people with 50 million who need 100 million. You know? Jesus Christ. You can be the Meisterburger with 50 million. There is no difference. My life would not change one bit if you gave me 50 million or 100 million. My life wouldn't change. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. You blow my mind sometimes.
Yeah.
Like times like this where you're standing up for Kid Rock. He's He's all not all about greed, but then you have a birthday month.
Well, there's a difference between being selfish and greedy. I'm selfish because I'm an only child. I like the attention to be on me. But I would like the attention to be on me while I'm committing benevolent acts of kindness and goodness. Look at me. Look at the good I'm doing. No, I was really,
that's cool. That is cool what Kid Rock's doing.
I always just dismiss Kid Rock. Look, I'm just like everybody else. I like, what about it, man? You know, it's a cool song when I heard it. You know, hey, this is great. But then, you know, he was kind of an idiot. You know, just kind of a dummy, white trash, lowest common denominator moron. Representative of everything that's wrong with America.
And then, you know what? Oh.
But then he comes out and I actually have to listen to him talk instead of just prejudging him the way I do with everybody else, because that's fun. And he says something and I go, oh, damn it, now I like this guy. Look at him.
I just thought about something that he did, too. I think he was one of the first people to do like a song with a collab song with a country artist, right?
Yeah, he might have been the guy.
Nelly did it with like Tim McGraw.
I never really understood that because I'm familiar with where he's from. What with Michigan being Chicago's backyard, essentially in the summertime, that's where everybody goes. I know where he's from. He is not from the South. That's why I never got the whole Confederate flag thing. Dude, you are from like close to the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, which is closer to Toronto than it is to Memphis. I mean, why are you pretending that you're, some Southern kid? But he blew my mind. Also, here's somebody else who blew my mind. Lindsay Lohan. Dude, she went on last night, late night with David Letterman, and get this review, okay? Now, I've seen this. I don't know if you've seen any of the clips of Lindsay Lohan from Letterman last night. First of all, still do her. Call me crazy. Lindsay Lohan's a hot chick. Yes, she's not as hot as she was, about a dozen or so 8 balls ago. This is a problem. You know what it is? It's the mic. Hold on, folks. We got a bad buzz happening. Oh, there we go. Oh, but now I don't want to talk this way because I can't look at Jansen. All right. Yeah, no, she looked good. She's definitely got a party girl crashing into her 30s kind of look about her. But a party girl crashing into her 30s is still, not bad looking. It's just starting to show some cracks in the foundation. That's all.
All right.
So Lindsay Lohan goes on David Letterman last night. Here is the review from EW, Entertainment Weekly, okay? Lindsay Lohan was poised and funny on Letterman. ... Really. Video as proof. All right, so let's give this a look. I think once it starts playing, it'll be fine. We'll get that fixed. Sure, that's on our list of things that we'll get fixed right away. All right, so here it is from last night's David Letterman. Let's give a little bit of listen to this. Poised and funny, Lindsay Lohan.
People why it is you're here tonight.
Well, I want to start by saying that I didn't think you were Dr. Phil.
Right.
I thought I was doing Fallon.
That's right. She thought she was doing Fallon, ladies and gentlemen.
And I was here early, so you do, Paul.
Yes, yes, we've settled up.
Right, okay,
don't worry.
so
you were here early.
Just so you know, I said it.
I could confirm it. Yes.
The first time you were on the show was the old show at NBC. What year was it? 1986? 1992.
I was born in 86.
Yeah.
How do you think she looks?
She looks okay.
I think she looks good.
I think she's got the...
Is she not a pretty girl?
She's pretty, but she's starting to do the whole too much plastic surgery thing going on. Like,
the
look
lips.
At those, yeah,
she's
the
doing
lips
some lips thing.
The cheekbones look kind of...
I attribute that to the party girl crashing into her 30s, thinking that she's got to completely remake her face. Yeah, she needs to back off of that.
Yeah.
But she still... If she walked in here and there were a bunch of guys here, everybody would be like, who's that? Who's that chick?
Oh, yeah.
She's good. She's definitely looking good.
She is on, look at that. Look at that. You were a Halloween costume.
I was things found on the floor of the D train.
That's right. You were dressed up as
and there was an issue
found...
because I believe there was a condom on
Oh, no. Was there really on your costume?
And Lacey Chabert did it, too. It was in Mean Girls with me. She was a stun gun.
It was. There was condoms and a pill
All right,
bottle.
now okay, we should tell people. We're watching the video. David Letterman broke away and showed a picture of Lindsay Lohan's first appearance on Late Night with David Letterman. And it was in 1992 or something when she was just a little girl. And the bit was Dave presents things found on a subway platform or something like that. And so Lindsay Lohan as a little girl came out, and you pointed that out, and I blew it off because I didn't think it needed to be mentioned. But you were right. As a little girl, she had like a prescription pill bottle stuck to her chest.
And apparently a condom because she said it caused controversy.
That's it.
Oh, she was also on that?
Yeah.
Well, you look remarkably well. Now, you know I have routinely made jokes about you and the activities, true and otherwise. You're aware of that, right?
I like that you say true and otherwise.
Yeah.
Not true and false.
True and false. Some of the activities are not true at all. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Lindsay Lohan was on the Today Show this morning. The appearance went well. Only one camera is missing.
That would be a lot for me to carry, I think.
Yeah, it would.
I mean.
Now, do you routinely go around grabbing stuff?
Oh, no, well, we thought we were going to do a joke when I came out where my tag was still on my dress and then you had to cut it off. And,
well, now, wait a minute. Who said no to that? That's tremendous.
We didn't get you in time.
Oh, no.
I was trying to pull a fast one, but, yeah, and then you were going to cut it off, and I would have said, oh, not again. I really can't cut any breaks anymore.
Yeah, but I
did buy this one.
Oh, you did. But you don't, yes or no, do you steal stuff?
Do you?
No.
Do you steal your cups
no.
at the end of the...
you can have that. That's complimentary.
Oh, thank you. We're done?
Lindsay Lohan's in court so often, the cafeteria has named a sandwich after her.
They don't let you eat there?
No, that's not so bad, is it?
What is this, like a gourmet course?
Yeah. Lindsay Lohan punched a psychic in a nightclub. It was right after the psychic told her, "You will soon punch a psychic in a nightclub."
Set up.
Now, aren't you supposed to be in rehab now?
Do you not watch anything that goes on?
I do.
A tabloid now?
Now here's what
May 2nd.
I was under the May 2nd.
Yes.
And how long will you be in rehab?
3 months.
How many times have you been in rehab?
Several.
And how will this time be different? What are they rehabbing, first of all? What is on their list? What are they going to work on when you walk through the door?
We didn't discuss this in the pre-interview.
No,
just saying.
but it'll be 3 months, and
no, I think to be honest, I'm the happiest when I'm working and the healthiest, and I think this is an opportunity for me to, focus on what I love in life, and I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's a blessing, and
to be able to, perhaps a lifesaver, a career saving.
Yeah.
All right, well.
Hey, I noticed something.
David Letterman from last night. Lindsay Lohan. Entertainment Weekly says she was poised and confident. Yeah, go ahead.
I noticed something whenever that last bit when she was talking about the whole rehab, she kept looking up, meaning it wasn't true. It was more like she rehearsed it as something being told what to say.
Nah, you know what I think that was? I think that's a girl. I think that's an incredibly insecure girl who was forced to go on this publicity tour for this stupid-ass movie that she only did for a big one-day payday, that Scary Movie 5 or whatever. And part of the terms, and they probably gave her $1 million for one-day shoot, and they said, but you must do press to support the film. And so she's obligated, because she needs the money, to do these kinds of interviews where she knows people are going to ask her about all of the hijinks. There's a reason that, she's not giving interviews. She doesn't want to talk about it, but she's contractually obligated. So she goes on, Letterman asks her. I think she handled it as well as can be expected. She didn't want to answer him, but that's obvious. We know that. That's why it's cool that Dave is asking, because he shouldn't ask her that. I mean, come on, it works both ways. She handled it well. She was a little pissed off, but she kept smiling. She was gracious. She took it and, whatever. I'm done piling on Lindsay Lohan. I am now watching the deconstruction of Justin Bieber. Lindsay Lohan, I want her to move on. I want her to get well, and I want her to rebound, and it can all be this big thing that we celebrate. Good for her. I wish no ill on anyone. Now I'm interested in watching what's happening with Bieber. Bieber is the one that I think is going to have a big, big meltdown. He's in the throes of it as we speak. So what were you? So you think that was all rehearsed, and maybe it was. She was probably very well practiced. I mean, before she went on Letterman, I'm sure she had days of coaching by professionals saying, if he asks you this, you say that. I mean, but I would expect that. She's very guarded. She's very vulnerable right now.
All right, so she's planning on going to rehab May 2nd. I just don't think that's a really good thing that you're planning on going to rehab months in advance. I mean, that's something you should be doing right now. Like, if you need rehab, you should be immediately going into rehab. Not something I'm going to be doing in a couple months.
Well, of course, if it's rehab, then it's urgent, and you should go straight to it.
So the whole thing just seems like a facade to me.
They make allowances for people's career. I mean, I'm sure that the reason she's going May 2nd is because there was work that they work with you. They don't really, rehab isn't to punish you. It's to, let's all get together and get you well and it's not like jail. I mean, if she had gone to jail, they wouldn't have delayed that for her to be able to make some movies. Or maybe they would. Who knows what these plea bargains are all about. But in the case of rehab, yeah, I mean, it seems a little shady, but, that's the way the world works. People have obligations. So, yeah. All right, back on the Facebook page now. We'll wrap up today's show with a couple of more things people wanted to mention on here. Jeff Glenn says, hey, Jansen. Oh, he doesn't say hey, Jansen. I say hey, Jansen. Tupelo, Mississippi. Dateline, Tupelo, Mississippi. Did you hear about this? The Ringling Brothers elephant that got killed?
No.
Good Lord. Some yahoo in Tupelo, Mississippi decided he was going to start shooting his gun off in a parking lot in the middle of the night. A parking lot where a circus was being set up. And one of the bullets shot and killed an elephant.
Damn.
Do you know what kind of... I mean, first of all, if it had shot and killed a person, that's real trouble. But this is a big deal, man. He didn't accidentally kill some neighbor's dog. He killed an elephant. That's a big deal. I'm thinking there's probably charges that I can't even imagine that are associated with something like that.
Okay, Mr. I don't think people deserve to go to jail for stupid crimes, non-violent crimes.
Oh, no. This guy deserves to go to jail. He has proven that he cannot coexist in society and handle his firearm properly. This is a firearm offense. This guy was playing with his gun. We have to be really... Any gun offense, you go to jail. That's part of the deal. If we're going to back off the Second Amendment and allow this whole thing to go by, which is what apparently, the gun debate is failing, then okay, we're just going to have to all agree that if you screw up with a gun, you have serious, serious prison time ahead of you. So yeah, I don't care. You kill an elephant because you're a hillbilly in Mississippi shooting your gun off in a parking lot? Go to jail. Go directly to jail. And you know what? And let those dudes with a couple of bags of weed in their trunk out so that this guy who can't be trusted with a gun can have a place to stay while he chills out. Yeah, that's a terrible story. Terrible story. Let's see. Here's another question. Is Dallas a football town or a winner's town? DFW versus Love Field. What? I don't even know what that means. Oh, DFW Airport versus Love Field. I'm a Love Field guy.
Oh, yes. Love Field all the ways. It's so much smaller and quicker.
DFW is the big international airport, but I am a Love Field guy. But also in Chicago, I'm more of a Midway guy than an O'Hare guy. So I like the smaller, more manageable airports.
Yeah, you don't have to show up hours in advance at Love Field. You can show up, 30 minutes, get on your plane. It's easy.
I love it. I've lived in the flight path of Love Field for the last 2 years. I love it. I love this neighborhood. Let's see here. Is Dallas a football town or a winner's town? Dallas is it's a football town. It is a winner's town, but it's also a football town because the Cowboys have sucked for a long time.
What does that mean, a winner's town?
A winner's town means that, they're all about the Rangers when the Rangers are in the World Series, but now that Josh Hamilton's gone, nobody's going to
bandwagon.
Bandwagon town. Okay. Do they just want to be winners? And there is some degree of that here in town, but no, it's also a football town because the Cowboys have sucked for a long time, and they are still the number one product in this town. A last-place Cowboys team is still a number one product to be sold in this town. So, yeah, it's a football town. Hey, is this true? Did Glenn Beck come out and support a gay marriage?
I don't know. I haven't heard that.
Google search that real quick. Just confirm it. Bill Falk says, of all people, Glenn Beck comes out in support of gay marriage. Well, this is, gay marriage is not a partisan issue. Gay marriage is a civil rights issue. It's no more a partisan issue than civil rights or whether or not blacks should have been enslaved or set free was a partisan issue. Although it was kind of. But you know what I'm saying? This shouldn't be. So I'm proud that there are a lot of respected, intellectual, and thoughtful Republicans who are now sort of coming over to the side and going, look, man, they're just people. It's really not worth this big divisive fight. They are people. They're not hurting anybody. They love each other. Let them go live in their little fashionable condos in downtown neighborhoods. Let them go antiquing on weekends. Why do we care? Why do we care? It's people who love people. Did you find anything? Did Glenn Beck...
Yeah, I think he did.
You did?
We've been arguing
I think he did.
You did?
about marriage. We have been so foolish. It is not about gays. It's not about homosexuals. It's not about any of that. It is about freedom. And the reason why they've won is because they've made it about freedom. And freedom, everyone basically understands freedom. That more freedom, not less. And so the argument has been, who are you to tell me what I can and cannot do? And by saying, well, because it always is, what's happened? You've lost. And by doing so, by not getting and turning into it soon enough, what's happened is you've been painted into a corner of a bigot. That's why they've won, because the principle of it is right. The principle is easy to understand. Who are you to say?
All right, well, that was Glenn Beck. Love that argument. He is absolutely right. You can't wave the flag of freedom and then try and marginalize an entire group based on the... Last week, it was Bill O'Reilly who came out and said, come on, guys, we lost the argument. It can't be based on religion because that flies in the face of freedom. What is this country more devoted to? Freedom or Christianity? I will say freedom 100% of the time. And if you say Christianity, get the fuck out. This is America. It's the land of the free, not land of the Christians. Stop it. We have Jews, we have Muslims, we have Buddhists. We let everybody in here. The one thing that we all share is that we are free. Bravo to Glenn Beck. Glenn Beck is another one of these master broadcasters. But he's also smart enough to understand that this battle is over, man. This new generation that's coming up, they are going to make you look like the guys in Mississippi that were sicking dogs on black people. That is how you are all going to look in the next 10 to 15 years. I hope you're comfortable with that. Smart people like Glenn Beck and Bill O'Reilly, who are very smart guys, although I've found their motives questionable in the past. They're very smart guys. They understand this, that this is an unwinnable argument for you. It has changed. Gays are going to be armed as mainstream today as they will be tomorrow. There'll be more tomorrow. I mean, I can't believe it. In the mid-1990s, Ellen DeGeneres was run off of network television for simply admitting she was gay. Dude, wrap your mind around that, Jansen.
I remember that.
She lost her ABC sitcom because Ellen DeGeneres admitted she was gay. That was 1990-something. It's 2013.
It's like 96.
She is now the biggest star in daytime television in American television. Ellen DeGeneres, I mean, that's how far. She is really the barometer of this movement. People love Ellen DeGeneres because she's likable. She has done more for the guy. Really, when you think of the people who have done more to break down the stereotypes about gays, Ellen DeGeneres, as a likable, lovable, kind, talented woman, has probably done more to change the opinion of your grandma or your aunt than any other single person in the gay movement. I don't know. Gosh darn it. Bravo to you, Glenn Beck. All right. And thank you, Bill Falk, for bringing that to my attention. That's a big deal. Let's see here. Buck Wild. Remember Buck Wild?
Yep.
Canceled. Last week, Shane Gandy, Buck Wild, of course, was the rip-off. Not the rip-off, because it's the same network. But sort of the continuation of the Jersey Shore theme of exploiting youthful morons. Except this time, instead of being set on the shores of New Jersey, it was in Appalachia with a bunch of, crazy hillbillies who were encouraged to be crazy. The title of the show was Buck Wild, and it was described that that's how they lived their lives. carefree, buck wild. We're young. We are never going to die. We're buck wild. I mean, that was pretty much how the opening of the show was. I don't care what everybody says. I'm young. I'm going to live my life. I'm going to have fun. Buck wild, MTV. Well, last week, one of those buck wild kids died while living buck wild. Mudding at 3 o'clock in the morning. Drunk. Truck got stuck in mud. Tailpipe got buried in the mud. He decided to go to sleep. And they all died of carbon monoxide poisoning. I mean, come on. That's living buck wild. So, congratulations to MTV for saying enough. All right. The heat is too much on. How do you think that his other cast members, his supposed friends, who were borderline stars, emerging stars, filming their second season, don't you think they're pissed?
Yeah, sorry, I was actually reading the chat box.
Don't you think the people who they were in the middle of filming the second season of Buck Wild?
Yeah.
These kids were becoming stars. I mean, look, the death of Shane Gandy was a big deal because he was a celebrity. So now all of his friends, because of his death, they're out of a job now.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
I think they're pissed. I think they're like, jeez.
You think there's any footage of that night?
I don't know. I don't think so. Although
it'd be out right now, right?
The fact that they quickly, unless they own it, and that might be why they canceled the season. I don't know.
Well, the police would have to use it for an investigation.
Yes,
so.
I have heard nothing. But in fairness, I have heard very little surrounding this case details-wise. There's a lot of people talking about it, but the facts on this have been very slow to come. So maybe they were filming. Who knows? Maybe that's why they suddenly canceled the season. I mean, I don't know. There might be trouble coming. I don't know. Because it was a very highly rated show. That's it. You know, that's what happens. All right, moving on. Let's see here. Alice wants to know, why are there still racists in today's times? Because there's always going to be. Because as long as there's a redhead standing next to a blonde, there are going to people that they're going to find something to be mad at about.
I don't know. No, I don't. I think one day there will come a time when we can unite as a whole and realize that we are all people on the same planet. That's really all what it boils down to. It's the same planet, and we need to come together.
That's never going to happen.
Why?
It's just not going to happen.
What about if
because we are territorial beasts. We are comfortable with things that are familiar. So if I'm, for instance, I'll use my analogy. If we were all blondes and then suddenly a redhead came into our group, look at what happens in the animal kingdom when an albino is born. They don't know how to handle change. They don't like change. It's just something that naturally occurs. We're always going to find the differences between us, and we're always going to try and find, a superior. We're better than you. You're better than us. I'm better than you because I have blonde hair and you have brown hair. There's always going to be that. Look at in tribes. Even like in tribes, people are talking about, you should unite the tribes of Africa. Those tribes all hate each other. All the Indian tribes, they all hated each other. People just hate one another.
I'm just surprised
for living across the street.
That you say that, though, because, you really, okay, I can get you saying it's not going to happen anytime soon, but what if there comes a time when knowledge is so high that we know we are all, that none of that is petty, none of that matters.
Knowledge is never going to get to be that high. Certainly not for the 99%. Yeah, there's no way. Look, the whole way you control a large population is by keeping them drunk and stupid.
Wow,
drunk,
you're
stupid,
right.
and pregnant. It's what you do.
You're right, but...
And then a very elite group are allowed to educate and progress and open their minds and learn everything, but you keep the people, the herd, the cattle, you keep them drunk and stupid. You give them Honey Boo Boo and liquor stores on every corner. That's what you do.
But what if there's a revolution and people wake up?
But people aren't going to wake up.
But what if they do? How do you know? I see people waking up every day now that few years ago would never be having this conversation.
No, look, I'll tell you, the average American works hard. They've got bills to pay. They want to come home and they want to eat, some processed meats, watch some Fox TV, and be angry at all the people who have stuff that they work hard for. That's just the way the average person is. It's not bad. It's not good. It's just how they are. You ask a guy who works 60 hours a week and is trying to put a kid through college and has 2 more in high school. You ask him, why he should be okay with the black guy moving across the street. Look at the answer you're going to get. People are just that way. They're concerned about their own front yard. They're not concerned about these big, giant issues of loving one another and all of us getting along. They would like to get along with their neighbor, so long as their neighbor looks like them and is familiar to them.
Well, all right. Well, guess what? I have news for you. As you know, history repeats itself over and over and over again. So coming up, there will be another revolution. Now, there's only going to be two outcomes. One of two outcomes. We either free ourselves from this suppression that you speak of, or it gets worse and we lose everything.
I like this. This revolution that you speak of. Where will this be coming from? Will this be coming organically from the streets, from the people? Will it be the people rising up?
Who knows? I mean, there's all kinds of things that could happen. Like, let's say World War III happens and we, start starving, There's all kinds of different things scenarios that could happen that could cause.
Well, but now you're describing what we talked about yesterday, a dystopian future where we're all relegated to tribes and there's a breakdown of social order. There's one centralized government living in a mountain somewhere, that's basically trying to restore some form of order, and they do that by initiating martial law and fascist tactics. That's what you're describing.
Yeah.
Okay. Does the revolution? Where does it get better in what you described? Where is
science? Science tells us that we are evolving into one of two different beings. Either one where we will
jerks and assholes,
where we will be basically like a cyborg, and we program stuff into us, or we become more spiritual and more connected to the planet. That is the one of two types of beings that we will evolve to.
There will be people who probably will go that route, the shaman route, or whatever it is that you're describing, and they will find enlightenment, and they will feel superior to all the other dummies that are below them, and there you have it again. There you have one group feeling superior to the other. Everybody isn't going to do that. Everybody isn't going to do it. I got a buddy here. I was going to get to his next. My buddy Jim Newtoff, okay? He is what I describe. He is a hard-working, loving, gifted father, all-American, red-blooded, former military. This guy is never going to connect himself to the earth, dude. He's not. I'm sorry. He's not. He'll have a beer with you. You'll go out. You'll barbecue steaks with him in the backyard. You'll think he's an absolutely wonderful guy. He'll make you laugh. You'll have a good time. He is not going to connect to the universe with you.
He's not going to sit down and meditate with me?
He's not going to sit down and meditate. And that's just the way. I'm not going to sit down and meditate with you. It's just not how the world is. We're not progressing. It is every man for himself. If you recognize the problem, it is incumbent upon you to just educate yourself in any way you can, anywhere you can. Open your mind. Think about things differently. It doesn't say that you have to become some crazy anti-establishment guy or anything, but it is important that we continue to educate ourselves, as there's nothing worse than a guy who's 40 who sounds like a 70-year-old. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Stay open-minded. Everything, the new comedy sensation that all the kids are in love with doesn't suck just because you're 45. Okay? Sit down, open your mind, try and find what's in there. It's just that people were not evolving. I disagree with you, but I've been very, just on this show, I've talked about how I believe that we are born as severely flawed beings. And it takes rules, and it takes love, and it takes guidance, and it takes religion in some cases to form that really raw, awful baby who's selfish, dependent, mean. Babies can be mean, man. To shape that into a decent member of society. And I think there is a breakdown somewhere in that method. People are not turning out decent people. They're turning down lazy people with lazy minds.
Yes.
Who don't want to think about anything difficult, because why? We take the easy road. I was just saying I shouldn't sound like a 70-year-old, but I'm kind of sounding like a 70-year-old.
No, you're not. You're sounding, it's reality. People don't want to admit that.
It's the honey boo-boo world, man. That's what we live in, the honey boo-boo world. By the way, okay, I was going to get to Jim. Jim Newtoff says, who from Mother Jones will go to jail for illegal wiretaps? He's referring to Mother Jones, the leftist publication, who is at the center of the Mitch McConnell wiretapping. So do you know what's going on here?
No.
Ashley Judd was going to challenge Mitch McConnell for the Senate in Kentucky. Mitch McConnell was recorded having a war room meeting with his staff on how to defeat the Hollywood movie star Ashley Judd. And some of the things they discussed was attacking her weird religious beliefs and the fact that she suffers from depression.
What are her religious beliefs?
I don't
They're
know.
Weird.
I don't know. But just the fact that, this was recorded, that this is how politics works. Not just Mitch McConnell and the Republicans. It's how every Republican, that's what political operatives do. They find ways to attack people. So at any rate, that meeting was recorded, and it's traced back to Mother Jones, and now there's a big investigation about wiretapping. Jim asks, who from Mother Jones will go to jail for the illegal wiretap? Nobody. Nobody, not a thing. Because the one constitutional amendment that is more defended in this nation than the second, which is the right to bear arms, is the first, which is freedom of speech. Come at us, bitches. We're the fucking media. We can do whatever the hell we want. We are protected by not the Second Amendment, not the second thing that people thought about, the first thing. The very first thing that our founder father said was to protect the press. Maybe they use some shady tactics. We'll see. I don't know if it rises to the level of the phone tapping scandal in England, and even if it does, who cares? England isn't the United States of America. They don't have a First Amendment. So, yeah, this is a real interesting story, and that's a pretty smart note for Jim to put that up because I wanted to talk about it. I don't know where it is right now because it's slowly developing, but wherever it goes, the right now is, of course, claiming for blood. They want the publisher and reporter and all this from Mother Jones to go to jail. I don't think that'll happen. We very rarely put members of the media in prison in this country, and certainly not for something like this. But good point, Jim. Pat Donnelly, why wasn't Steve Oh, do you know who Steve McMichael is? You remember this guy?
No.
Steve McMichael was a bear, but he was also a WWF wrestler. Steve Mongo McMichael. He was kind of a D-list celebrity, famous for being a member of the '85 Bears. But he ran for mayor in, I believe it was Romeoville, Illinois. And Pat wants to know why McMichael didn't win the Romeoville election. I didn't know he didn't win, but I'm guessing because people don't want a mayor like Steve McMichael. I mean, the guy was a nut. I've had run-ins with that guy. Back when I was just a scared little kid, like probably like 22, 23 years old. I was working at this station, The Loop in Chicago, and all these old bear guys used to come up and hang out on the shows. McMichael was the one that legitimately people didn't F around with because he was a loose cannon. He was crazy. A guy, I think it was Steve Dahl, one of the hosts, had a big New Year's Eve party at his house once, and Steve McMichael went nuts. Like, in this party. Like, he kicked holes in the walls. Like, not like, I hate you, I'm pissed, I'm throwing a tantrum. It was like, woohoo, it's New Year's, let's take out Steve Dahl's dining room wall. I mean, it was like crazy. He like went nuts.
Yeah, but that's when everyone was doing blow like it was
Yeah,
nothing.
well, they definitely were at that party. I'm pretty sure there was some of that going on. But no, I mean, McMichael was crazy. McMichael was famous in the Chicagoland area. Well, for being a football player, but also because he used to do, on Sunday nights they have like Cowboys Extra. Well, they'll bring in a Cowboy player and they'll talk about the game and all.
Oh, hell no, I don't know.
All right, well, they do that, okay? Just so you know, local news does that. And they, of course, did that in Chicago. And Steve McMichael was the most popular guy because Steve McMichael showed up for the 10:30 Sunday night sports show drunk off his ass. Wasted. Here, you know what? Maybe I can find some drunk Steve McMichael. That would be great. That'd be a good way to go out. You don't remember? Did you pull up a picture of him at all?
Yeah, I did. I don't remember him.
Really? Not at all, huh? All right. Well, I'm certain there's got to be some old drunk Steve McMichael. These guys, who the hell would want Steve McMichael as their
Hey,
mayor?
we had the Body Ventura as governor.
Yes, but the Body wasn't famous for being wasted.
Man, plus he is a really smart guy too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, hey, he's smart. Is he?
He's my kind of guy.
He's well-read.
He's all about conspiracies.
Yeah, he's well-read. He's well-read, and he's articulate, and he's a thinker. But I don't know, he's so nutty on some of his stuff that I don't know that I'd call him smart. But he's definitely not one of the people we described who are just sort of letting the world rape them for 80 years.
Oh, that's for sure.
Yeah, no, he's an interesting guy. Let's see here. What else did they want to mention here? Jeff Glenn agrees that Jimmy Fallon's Citibank connection ruined it for him as well. All right. I guess that's really about it. I don't think there's anything else to really talk about today. We've got a long show today.
Yep.
This was
Almost
a very
3
long
hours.
show, yeah. And we got other things to do. Folks, I'm sorry. I promised it tomorrow. My voice will be better. I'll go home. I'll shut up. I know we played a lot of video and a lot of audio today, but I'm having a hard time talking. But we'll be okay. We'll be back tomorrow at our same time, noon, right here on DeepElmOnAir.com.
Yep.
Before we get out of here, though, I would love to thank a couple of sponsors. We should be thanking the Glass House, right? We
Yes,
also
the
didn't
Glass
mention
House.
Stratos today. Tell me about the Glass House. Where can we find them?
The Glass House, they have 2 locations, one in Dallas, one in Louisville. The one in Dallas, Knoll Trail Drive, and the one in Louisville off of Round Grove Road.
Round Grove.
Just go to theglasshouse.tx.com for more information. And they're doing a big 420 event that they're going to call in next week and tell us more about that.
420?
Yeah, on 420.
April 20th?
Yeah, they're on 420. They're doing April 20th. They're having events at both locations. They'll be raffling away $2,000 worth of glass at each location. They'll have DJs, all kinds of cool stuff.
We're working on a project with Stratos, our good friends over at Stratos. They're going to come in on Friday. They're going to bring food. I know that
nice.
they're going to come back
They're gonna-
Friday. Yeah, it was a mix-up last time.
They better.
I'm sorry. I know I said that they're probably going to bring. They're going to bring some sandwiches. Oh, they'll bring some gyro. First of all, I love Stratos. I'm working on a project with them. I kind of talked about it a little bit, sort of a comedy show, but we're tweaking it. So we're going to hold off on that. However, if you are a fan of Greek food, and I'm a huge fan of Greek food, and there just isn't a lot of it here in North Texas, check them out. Clubstratos.com online. They're located at the corner of Northwest Highway and Webb Chapel, 2907. This place is fantastic. I mean, you've been there. You've been there many times. I mean, how good is the food at Stratos? It's
great.
Forget about burgers. Forget about chicken sandwiches. I mean, you can probably get that. I think they got everything there. But their specialty, is their Greek food. Their Greek fare, the Greek experiences. They have Greek dancers. They have belly dancers. It's like going to a showroom when you walk into this place. Some of the absolute best food in all of Dallas and a real showroom kind of experience. Stratos website is clubstratos.com. And you can check them out again at the corner there at Northwest Highway and Webb Chapel Road. And we're going to be talking more about our project with Stratos here at DeepElmOnAir.com on Friday when they come in. All right, that's going to do it for us. We'll be back tomorrow. Thank you, Jansen. Appreciate it. This has been an episode of Very Sick PMS, Pugs Moran Show. HireAHero.org presents PMS, the Pugs Moran Show on DeepElmOnAir.com.
Deep Ellum, on air.